Welcome. What's up, brothers?
What's up?
What's going on?
How's it going? Sports
Lit
Talk.
Cigar Lounge. What's happening, man? We
Sports
here.
Talk Live for the culture here from Lit Cigar Lounge over in New Jersey. We're back again doing another little podcast. Got my man Greg James in the building. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
Got
Thanks
my
for the
man
invite.
Ralph Shorty Crawford in the building. How you doing?
What's up, gentlemen? How's everybody?
Shorty was supposed to be on the links today, but he's blessing us with this knowledge, whatever. He was supposed to be doing that par 4, par 5 thing.
All day.
Hey, man, feel good to be back active again.
Oh, definitely. My man Ronald Evans, y'all know him as Duke. How
What's
you doing?
happening, brothers? What's up? We here.
Sports Talk Live for the culture, fellas. Everything is good. We got here enjoying a good cigar, good smoke. You guys got to come over down and Lit. Got my man Artie. He'll take care of you definitely down here. I'm a member. Joined the club last time we were here. Great time. But we want to jump into this sports action here. And, the hot topic of the day is the NFL. The playoff situations. We had some games last week. We had a wild card game last week. But I want to jump off with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Seattle Seahawks. Definitely. That was an interesting game. Two young quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, Mr. Underrated as I call him, Fran Tarkenton 2.0 for the old heads out there.
Is that what he is? Underrated?
Underrated. Russ carrying franchise as quiet as it's kept.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
But let's jump right into the controversy. The play of the game, the play of the first weekend was Clowney's hit on Wentz that knocked him out the game and pretty much rendered the Philadelphia Eagles offense done for the day. McCown came in with a gutty effort at 40 years old with one hamstring for most of the second half. Let's jump right in it. Clean hit, good hit. What do you think about the hit? Should the NFL have fined him? There's no fines being posed, no suspension, no fine for Clowney on this hit. Let's jump in it with Mr. Greg James, who the football coach on it right here, right now. Let's go. And you're an Eagles fan.
I'm definitely an Eagles fan.
Oh, you already know what he's going to say.
I'm definitely an Eagles fan. Did not like the hit, but I played football in the 80s. I understand. Played to the whistle. I mean, he dove forward, didn't give himself up technically, I guess, and a guy came in and delivered a shot. I mean, what else are you going to say? Delivered a heck of a shot and rendered him ineffective for the rest of the game. Knocked him out. So, yeah.
Do you feel? A lot of people felt that it was a cheap hit, it was a dirty. I'm coming from the era, they used to say 15 on me. Like you got a free 15-yarder on me today, and Al Davis said the quarterback must go down and he must go down hard. I think Clowney saw an opportunity to get his lick in, and he took full opportunity to get that lick in. It stretched the the boundaries of it, but he definitely took a shot.
I mean, he could have eased up, but
Play to the whistle.
Football. It is football.
Play to the whistle.
I mean, the question is, when do you actually give yourself up? I mean, that's my question. I thought.
But actually, he was being tackled. He got tripped up, and then Clowney came in and
finished him off.
Now, if it was a running back, we would have said nothing. But it's a quarterback,
right.
So it's a whole different, class of player getting hit there, and everybody's going, after the quarterback, or definitely want to see exactly get their notch in on your quarterback, get your quarterback out. That increases our chances to win. And they've been putting so much protection in for the quarterback. It was interesting because the NFL went in, people talked about it. What were they going to do? Was Clowney going to be suspended? Would he be fined? Everybody expected him not to be suspended, but at least get kind of a hefty fine. The NFL did not levy a fine at all on Clowney.
Well, here's my thing about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Some quarterbacks, they are runners, all right? Wentz is a runner, right? As a runner, I thought, and looking at today's league, I know if I'm playing quarterback, I'm not going to hesitate to go legs first to slide. I'm not going to do it. Why? Why? Because you got guys that weigh 275 that are waiting for opportunities to do what Clowney did. Now, to the guy like Clowney, who is ready to attack because that's what defensive guys do. They ready to attack. They ready to. The whistle is the only thing sometimes that they. That's just what it is. That's what you're taught. Play the whistle, right?
Yep.
I do believe if Wentz slides, I think Clowney pulls up. But because
Feet
he
first,
wanted
yeah.
to go head first, he took a shot. And that's just me. That's just what I believe. Was the play clean? No, it wasn't because, that's 275. The ground is not going anywhere. It's not like a mattress. When you hit him, you're going to feel all of that. And that's what we saw. I don't want to categorize him as a dirty player. Should he have been fined? I'm not going there. Flag, yes, but kick out the game, fined. No. We're not going to do that because this wasn't a play where somebody wasn't looking. I see that he's coming, and all of a sudden I'm going to target him and I'm going to put him out. It wasn't one of those. So I think people should stop with that, trying to make it look like, okay, his chest is wide open. He doesn't see me coming, and I'm going to take this shot. That puts you in a whole different ball game. All right, now we're looking at the fine. Now we're looking at the ejection. But this wasn't one of those cases. I'm quite sure Clowney, if he ran into Wentz, they will have a mutual respect for, I didn't mean to put you out the game and all. It was football.
Even though I did wink.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
That's my job.
Yeah,
That's my job. And like you say, play to the whistle. Play to the whistle.
That's what you're taught.
It's the ref's job to govern everything. You know what I'm saying? He should have gave himself up. It's the biggest thing you say about Vic. He didn't know how to slide. You know what I'm saying?
And I think the part about it, and when you were watching that game, you saw Russell sliding and standing up like he's going into second base. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Russ has a whole history of playing baseball, and it may be something you want to get your quarterbacks out there doing now.
Hey, man,
I always say, like, you need a camp on, like, just take that. And the way Russell does is not 4 yards, bloop, and he pops right back up. He's sliding and getting up, so he's not even lingering on the ground for somebody to get a shot at.
Right.
So here's my question: is the same protection afforded to the quarterback if he dives forward as opposed to sliding?
They said you can give yourself up either way, but I think in this instance, he was tackled. Out of the screenshot there, another Seattle player had tripped him up, and Clowney was coming in, and Clowney said, okay, he got tripped up. Like any else body going into the ground, let me lay on him. And that's exactly what he did. He took his shot, which we knew you were going to put an extra lick on a quarterback.
Oh, you want
the
him.
way to protect it. Of course.
Oh yeah, I gotta get you.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the whole thing, and we'll get into Brady and all these guys. They don't even mess around. They throw the ball in the good seats.
They can't even take a chance. They don't even want to take a chance.
Why would you take that chance when you got people that are bigger than you?
I'm gonna tell you the number one reason why, because you're young. That's why. You gonna listen. You think that he's gonna try the same stuff again?
Listen,
The chances. There you go.
Right now, he's the glass man.
There you
I ain't
go.
gonna say the glass man. A concussion is a concussion. It's not like he blew out his knee.
It wasn't like a soft
Yeah,
tissue.
it wasn't like you dropped back and then you grabbed your leg. Somebody, a 275 pounced up on top of you.
You don't want to sit back and say he's injury prone because he got a concussion. I mean, he didn't break nothing. I mean, he just somebody hit him and he should technically was down.
I don't know a quarterback probably alive that's going to take that 275. They might play like it's okay.
Yeah.
But because back in the day, they played with concussions. Let's not trip. Yeah. But you're going to go in their locker room and you're going to pop a couple of them and you're going to come out like nothing never happened.
Little smell and snort.
But guess what?
That's what that's called.
But guess what?
It
happened. It happened. You got a concussion. And I'm not going to say with him, I'm not calling him soft. I'm not doing any of that. If you see some of these guys in person, you don't even have to go on a pro level. You can go on a college level, and you see what kind of size these guys is working. When they fall on top of you, something's going to happen. Yeah. And that's what happened.
Yeah, definitely. And talk about the game. And the Eagles, the one of the big takeaways from the game was that Seattle was able to win with 17 yards rushing. They had 17 yards on 19 carries. Basically, Russell Wilson carried the offense, made big plays
again.
And then once Wentz went out, the Eagles were really, really neutered on their offensive Gallant effort by Mahomes, but he was out there 40 years old, one hamstring, and pretty much good anything. But they did move the ball sometimes. Got in the territory, and the coach went for 4th down 3 times. Do you agree with that strategy? Do you think he could have took a couple field goals? What do you think about doing that, the play calling during that aspect?
I wouldn't have left no points on him. I would have kicked them field goals. Give you some kind of momentum. I wouldn't have, you left too much. I mean, he's a gambler, but sometimes you got to put them points on the board. You got to change the morale in your squad. You know what I'm saying? You keep going for it, and then they get it, and your defense is back out there, and it's wear and tear. They're wearing them down.
Yeah, definitely.
They're definitely wearing them down. You got to get them points on the board.
Here's my thing. That this is who he is. We've seen this before. We like, oh no, 4th and 4. What you doing?
Yeah, that's.
But we seen him get it. We seen him get it, and then it's cool. But when he doesn't get it, it's man, this guy should have did something else. No, you take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
That's what you do
He's
with
a
guys
gambler.
like this. And I don't see a problem with him gambling when he did, because one thing we can say about what happened in these games, the Eagles, we can go a few times during the year where we're like, oh no, they're not giving up nothing. So if I'm not giving up nothing, I'm gonna gamble sometime because I'm not giving up nothing. That's what I think what happened with him as a coach is, if you put yourself in a coach's we know field goals. It's cool, but you need those 6 sometimes, and sometimes those field goals are not enough. We don't know, and I think it's easy for us to sit back and say that what we should have did when you're in the mix. We all know that as coaches and ex-players and stuff. You know what I mean? So, hey, listen, he's a gambling type of guy.
That's him. You got to live or die.
Exactly.
You can live or die with it. I mean, to your point, if they kick the 2 field goals, I mean, how does Seattle play afterwards? They play differently. The problem was basically this. Seattle, when it came down to the come down, were making plays. 4th down plays, 3rd down plays, whatever the case may be. They were making the play. 3rd and long, excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
They were making the play. And we just, and I say we because I'm an Eagles fan.
Eagles fan. Go ahead. We know. I can see the green in your eyes.
Let it out,
You
man.
see green on his shirt.
Yeah. Let it out, man.
We
That's
just
all right.
didn't have an answer for him. I mean, that's it. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't have enough bullets in the chamber, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But come on now, look at our secondary.
But
that's been our Achilles heel all year.
I think the Eagles secondary has been a problem for a few years. Like at the corner spot.
It
Oh, yeah,
definitely has
yeah.
been a
And free
problem.
safety.
Well, what happens is, and this goes for any team, right? You got some goons up front, right? And they nasty, and they like to get after the quarterback. Why am I go spend money on a top-notch secondary? Because you don't have to cover nobody for that long when I got these goons coming up front. They make life miserable for the quarterback. The quarterback's not going to make these on time throws and all that when I got the Fletcher Coxes and these guys coming off the end. It's not, they make it uncomfortable. So when they don't, the minute they don't make it uncomfortable, now you expose the secondary.
Wait a minute. I'm scratching my head because you said goon.
No.
He said goon. He used the word goon. So we're gonna take Fletcher Cox off the list
Why?
because he's probably the only goon out there.
But we had
you have no edge rushers.
So who's on the edge now?
Derek
'Cause the guy
Barnett.
Barnett is as a first. It was a top 10 pick.
Yeah, he was a high pick.
So is Graham over there?
Graham still.
Didn't Graham just
Listen,
Well,
man.
he plays a lot of tackle. and pass
Listen,
situations.
I love Brandon Graham. He
Had the strip,
caused
double
fumble in the
nickels.
Super Bowl. That's
Double
all. That's all.
nickels.
Listen, they can keep Brandon Graham until he wants to retire. He caused a strip in the Super Bowl.
So he's not. I'm just because this is. I'm
He's not a
asking
goon,
you.
though.
'Cause
He's
I
not
don't
a
watch.
goon.
I don't watch.
He's not a
Well,
goon
you can't have 5 goons across the. Like listen. Here's my thing with players, and this goes for every. I don't care what it could be. Pro basketball, it could be pro football. It doesn't matter. Everybody can't drink Old English. Everybody can't drink wine. Somebody's gonna be drinking some high-powered liquor somewhere. You can't have it even all the way across the board. So I put that out there because everybody can't be a goon. Somebody's gonna come a little bit different. But I know this: out of them 11 guys on defense, and we know because we not spring chickens.
Right.
6 of them, something better be wrong with them on defense.
Right.
So
The
now where are they going to be?
Yeah.
I don't know, but 6 of them, something better be going on
But
out of the 11.
The issues that the Eagles had all season long in the last few years is their secondary.
Yeah.
So it has to do a lot with coaching and the scheme. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You have to. It continually over the years give up that play on third down
Mm-hmm.
after you've had your so-called goon in that front doing what they're supposed to, putting you
Especially
in
against good quarterbacks.
Yes, putting you in third and long positions, but you immediately back off your aggression.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that when you know your flaw is in the secondary coverage.
They can't cover that long.
They can
No, we can't cover our shadows.
Oh,
That's where
so
that's-
why are you not scheming? You were always falling back to something soft and allowing them the opportunity to get the third and longs. Why are you pulling back? Apply that pressure.
I don't think they can play man to man. I think they
So-
play a lot of soft coverage, a lot of off coverage, and roll a lot of coverage and stuff like that. So what happens is when you don't get to the quarterback in that timely fashion,
You're
you know,
exposed.
you get exposed.
Right, so-
and that's where that to me is where the problem starts at.
So-
you can't roll no coverage in the NFL. You can't play no
Right,
off coverage
right.
in the NFL. You got Russell Wilson was last week.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Yeah.
You know, he buys time in the pocket, and all of a sudden, people miraculously start getting open. Come on.
Well, here's
like
my
pitch and
thing.
catch, brother.
Here's my thing though with the whole thing, right? So we're able to focus on the defense so much, right? How about Seattle won with scoring 17 points?
Yeah.
How about that, right?
Only
Let's
put up
focus on that.
17?
And how about the Eagles? There's no Deshaun, there's no Alshon Jeffrey, and Wentz went out. How about if
And their
those
tight
guys
end
are
had one
playing?
kidney.
So how about if those guys play? I think that y'all know too, as Eagle fans, what would have happened.
Well, Seattle didn't have
So
a
we can
running
point
back,
this we can point this towards injuries if we want, but nobody want to hear about that.
No.
right?
No,
Nobody
because
wanna hear-
I think
nobody wanna hear
if
about that.
Scott
Well,
had
Seattle had their running
if-
back off the couch. They had beast mode. They had their first 2 running backs.
He
They're
didn't
the
look,
most-
he didn't look like he was off the couch when he bulled that kid over. Was it Jenkins? It was Jenkins.
Yeah.
And that was a good form tackle, by the way, for the little kiddies out there. You know, the Pop Warner man, shoulder down, broke down, you know what I mean? And next thing you know,
But I
he
think
ended up
Scott-
backwards.
I think Scott should have been in the mix more in that game. And I think Deuce is the one that does the running
Right.
back rotation. I think Scott should
But I
have
think
been.
they were well coached on him. Look like I think Scott's a little more shiftier.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
But if you look at it, it's a make or miss league. The swing
Right,
pass,
right,
the
right,
swing
right,
pass to the Penn State back. If he catches that, I think he scores.
Yeah.
Come out
Yeah.
the back
Oh
foot.
yeah,
Oh,
oh
yeah,
yeah, oh yeah,
yeah.
oh
And you
yeah.
saw the play coming because familiarity.
Yeah.
That's
Listen,
that's the Sproles play that lead tackling that time.
You had-
yeah, so you saw it coming. So.
Yeah, oh, it was there. You had a quarterback that was doing what we doing. He probably was on a sports talk show chilling. He didn't.
And
he
I'm
probably
watching the
wasn't-
game, and I'm saying, look, them hamstrings only got about
Oh, only
5
got a little.
plays.
I'm gonna tell you what he was
Oh,
doing.
so 5 plays.
He was coaching.
Well, he's coaching his kid exactly. He was
coaching.
Yeah.
The only reason he took the job, and I just read this morning. Don't ask me why. I read it this morning. The only reason he took the job is because they allowed him to be a head coach down, I believe in Carolina somewhere, for
Yeah,
his
he
son's
was.
playing
Yeah.
football.
Yeah, he was.
So, how dedicated was he? Because he's coaching his children.
Look,
I mean, was he coming to practice? I'm gonna call
somebody
New
can
England for the
use
tape.
He
you.
fine.
When you're 40 and you've been around the game, somebody can use you. The problem is once you get that call,
Yeah.
when you got to get thrown in the playoffs. But guess what?
Look, you
We
got-
can't put it on him.
Look,
He
I-
was-
I'm not gonna put it on him.
He was.
did what he could do.
I'm looking like,
At
oh,
one
somebody's gonna
moment,
give
he
him
was
a
13
job.
for 16.
That's what I'm
He was
saying.
13 for
So
16 at one
listen, if he didn't do anything, he played himself into a job next year. Because I'm like, oh,
I'll have my gentleman dollar bet that he did not play himself.
you.
I think he's going to retire.
I think he's dead.
Well,
First
if
of
he
all,
retires, it's because of him.
it's because of that hamstring that he tore off the bone.
Yeah.
That's going to cost him about 6
Yeah,
months.
listen, when you grab yourself off the couch
Yeah.
and you're walking around with a
It
clipboard,
seems like I mean, you went with a veteran. If you had Nate Selfo that was hurt a little, it seemed like you would have more of somebody who can give you some help with your legs or mobility in that backup
Right.
quarterback spot in that situation when it comes. Maybe Kaepernick, but I'm gonna move on to. I'm gonna move on to.
We'll take him in Oakland.
I'm gonna move on to the next game. Another controversial game. Well, not the Vikings go into the land of the gumbo cookers and the alligator hookers, and they go out and get the dub. One of the things that Kirk Cousins relieved some monkeys off his back. People were talking about him. I felt comfortable because the game wasn't on Monday night.
he got the gorilla off his back.
As long as the game's not on Monday night, they say he can't win big games, whatever. and Kurt was in there and he made plays. The Vikings made plays, and they go on and they pulled an upset over in New Orleans. And there was a play in that game. We can put it up here and see. You guys.
Another
pass
penalty.
interference or not pass interference?
Another penalty missing in action.
Yeah.
Referee sleep at the
Well, I'ma
wheel.
say
Sleep
this.
on the
Whoa,
job.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Sleep on the job.
If the
Sleep.
ref don't call it, it's good. Now, it was pass interference being a Monday night quarterback, but hey, listen, he didn't
I
call
see
it.
full
You said
extension.
pass interference,
I
then
see-
you said if the ref don't call it, it's good.
It's
What
good.
side we
full
on?
extension
Oh, I
of the
like
arm.
it. It's good.
Full extension
He
of the
didn't
arm
call it, it's
on the
good, but it
shoulder.
was
Yeah,
pass
yeah,
interference.
yeah.
Clearly.
Pass
Clearly.
interference. Pass
Well,
interference.
isn't that the hand fighting that goes in every play, and they don't want to make it a ticky-tack touch league, whatever.
Ticky tack?
I mean, he gained slight advantage.
Slight
But
advantage.
look,
Complete advantage, man. Where you want to
Look,
lose.
That's
Use.
6'5" or something like that, right?
That comes straight out the Michael Irvin book of route running.
Pretty much. Pretty
So
much.
I mean, so when you look at it, but look, it's more than one play in a game. But what
Yeah,
about
yeah.
what
But
about
that
the,
was the play.
what about the 40-yard pass to Phelan to get him down there? Maybe you stop that.
Yeah, that's true.
Moving off sides, illegal motion, not taking a timeout.
I mean, my thing with it is the 2 years in a row, these guys have been unfortunately victimized by a lack of a play. A
Well,
penalty.
last year I can say victimized. This
Victimized.
This year I'm like, you played a whole game. There's plays back and forth. This was just the last play.
Yeah.
So
Just like last year.
Last year was a blatant tackle. That was pass interference. We all knew that. Ray Charles saw that was interference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
sure,
listen,
for sure.
my thing is get it right. That's
get it
all.
right.
Let's get it right now. I don't have a problem with anybody extending the arms because think about it, right? If somebody, that's what you do. That's like a normal thing to extend your arms. You're not gonna have your arms on your side when you're running back. That's what you've been doing that since 5 years old, as long as you've been playing. But my thing is, once you use them to push somebody backwards, then you got a problem because the extension of the arms is just the extension. When you pushing back, and that's what happened here, then you got to call that because not only are you 6'5", 270, you got a smaller dude on you. So we saw him bounce back when the ball was there. So you got a height advantage, and now you got a push advantage, and you catch the ball. It's like we all saw it. Come on.
I mean, that's the equivalent of the defensive back grabbing the arms as the ball is in the air.
Right.
It's the same thing. I mean, I see him as
Right.
one and the same. I mean, as ticky tack as it may look, I think it's a penalty that should be called. That's the bottom line. Now, again,
And I'm gonna say
referee-
this, and I'm gonna say this too. I'm gonna add this: if we watched every play, we'd throw a flag
Oh,
every
absolutely.
play.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's
You can
holding
you can
and
hold
it's
every play.
all-
You can hold every play.
So you gotta make up your mind exactly what you gonna tolerate, because we can get tangled up all day. If I'm just as fast as you and just as strong as you, and you go to cut and you go to do that, we can get tangled up. Let's be serious. Our feet can get. So sometimes you just can't throw flags on everything. Let's put that out there. You know what I mean?
that's true, but that's not.
That's
he's
that-
not tangled up at all.
Oh no, not with this.
Okay.
With this, I think. Yeah.
I mean, it's clear. It's just the bottom line. The referee was unfortunately asleep at
He's
the wheel.
standing right there.
Asleep at the wheel. It happens.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
It happens. It
But you're not
happens.
going to call. They don't want to. They don't want to set the precedent where the precedent that once you having these big games in games. Now we're going to go look at it. It was a little push or
Right,
whatever. There's a lot of things that go in the game. Two hands. If it's two hands,
Yeah, I think they might. They're more likely to get you with the two-hander,
the
right?
two hands, the one hand extension. I'll be hard to overturn it. Look, that's me. I mean, I'll be hard to overturn.
Wait
it.
a minute. Every scoring play is reviewed from the booth, right? This was clearly a
Well,
scoring
they
play.
it was
So
an
it had
over-
to it had to be reviewed.
They didn't even take a look. They didn't think it was looked at. In overtime, everything's reviewed. So,
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, so they
2
looked
minutes,
at it.
and it was a scoring play.
Right. So they looked
at it,
and somebody deemed that it wasn't a penalty.
It wasn't. It was a touch, but we're not going to overrule it. Goodbye. Let's move on.
All right.
And you don't think that the Vikings coming down there in Bounty Bowl years ago didn't play a little thing in the background. There's always a little politics in it because the Vikings was down there before and they suspended the coach for a whole season. So it's a little backdrop to it, I believe. If you did that to a New England Patriot, you might have got called. But
Yeah, pretty much. We got some shout outs soon.
Oh, shout him out.
You got Mr. Andrew Richardson.
Yep.
Greg Harris, Julia Gifford, Mr. King Kamal, what's up, brother? Cousin Chiquita Lewis, Mr. Bill Morgan, Lee Power, Andre Hayes, Ira Madison, Raymond Sutton down in sunny Tampa, Florida. My auntie, Miss Pamela Lee.
Oh, hi, auntie.
Anika Lee Thompson. Cousin Rocky Brick, Greg Harris, Robert Phillips, Roberto Lombardi, Jermaine Jackson. I got to see you, Jermaine Jackson. Sean Sims, Chuck Flavor, Chef Timothy Witcher. We will be joining you soon down at the Wing Kitchen, brother. We'll be back. We didn't forget about you. Jawanza Wilson, West Virginia State alum. Cousin Jacqueline Evans, Iron Mike Starks, and Miss Wanda Brown. Thanks for joining.
Oh, definitely. I want to shout out my old head, Cornell Cuffy Suber. We having a discussion about Mike's route running. Definitely. Need you on the show, good brother. Need you on the show, good brother. My cousin Dave, as usual. Definitely. And the wifey, Relena. Hi, wifey.
What's up, Relena?
You always gotta
behave yourself.
Yeah, she got a break today. She had to set up a run and get wings and stuff because we out on location. Definitely. But the other thing from the game I wanted to bring out with free agency coming, is it time for Breeze to hang it up? Is it no longer time for him, to run the Saints? They did a lot of things. They let somebody else throw the 50-yard bomb because his arm strength. He's been playing indoors. Is it time? I mean, it was a theme last weekend. Old heads, 40 years and up, didn't fare too well coming off the bench or starting. Is it time just to say, hey, you got records, you got a chip? Is it time for the Saints to look at with a youth movement?
You want me to go now, or should I go?
Go.
You go.
So let's look at the history of the game. Our top quarterbacks that's in the league, was it based on arm strength? Joe Montana, Troy Aikman, was it arm strength?
Accuracy.
Yeah, I think it's about accuracy. I think he's an accurate guy. So to say that it's time for him to hang it up, I don't think that's fair. And I think we're in an era now where nobody's worried about defense. If I can score 27 and 30 and that's not enough, I'm looking at the other side of the ball is what I'm doing. But that's just me.
Yeah, I don't think Breeze has fell off. To be honest with you,
That thumb betrayed him when he fumbled that ball.
Nitpicking. There you go. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think it's time for him to go. I mean, he's still playing at a pretty high level. I mean, obviously, in the NFL, is always
got a great coach.
Yeah, he does have a great coach, but in the NFL, you always want to groom folks and things of that nature. But
But also, I think the kid behind him played himself into a nice little slot where he can get a job.
Yeah, I like that.
He's tough.
He
Yeah,
definitely played himself in. But
are you thinking
Breeze? You bow out when you want to.
Are you thinking seeing this? We'll get to the AFC in a second. Are you seeing the success of Lamar? That the coach Sean Payton is having those kind of thoughts about number 7 Hill on his team. That we could do some of those things. He gets a lot of reps now. You've seen Hill come in like 225 pounds, 6'3", runs a 4.4, 4.3 40. Special teams, runs the ball, throws the ball deep. You thinking that Sean Payton may be thinking it may be time for evolution?
I don't agree with that. But 7 is a guy you need on your team.
Yeah, he's a
guy. I don't want him to get away. I want him.
No, you better not lose.
And guys like that, you get cheap. You get cheap.
I'm not sure he's a starting quarterback though.
No, he's not.
When Breeze went down, but think about it.
Him.
When Breeze went down, they called Teddy Bridgewater. Right?
Yeah, they went into the thing, but I'm talking about a year to evolve. I'm talking like you need in a short term you need a Bridgewater. We can't change the whole offense, but I'm talking looking down the future, like an off season or moving in, like the way they came in, with Lamar, and then really perfected it this off season when Lamar's throwing got better and everything. Like we put in a monster 3 tight end look. That we run down on your face, and then our tight ends are 6'7" and athletic. You can't touch them; they can catch. I'm just thinking, down the line, we'll see the evolution. Sean Payton's a thinker; he's progressive. Look, he gets his receiver 149 catches a year, and people say like my top receiver can't get a catch this week. I'm like, well, if you look at the Saints, my man got 149 catches in one season. So,
but he also had the weapons to allow that. He spread. You had Hill, you had your running backs. they're great. They were
Kamara,
great receivers
yeah,
as well.
Kamara, yeah.
So I mean, you got you blend that in with a great running attack, and then you got the. I'm not gonna say he was a gimmick player. He's a ball player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
that threat there that opens everything up.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta
I mean,
have it's a place
I'll
for
be
7
for-
on
yeah,
all
but I-
32 teams.
Yeah.
But, I mean, but
I
think-
root for a team who historically we go a month. He only got 2 catches. Like, like, what the heck's going on? With weapons, with everybody else on the team, like whatever.
You bring up an interesting topic when you talk about evolution and the Lamar Jackson of the world and the running quarterbacks of the world. But look no further than Carson Wentz to show you why we don't want quarterbacks running. That's just me. I want you throwing the ball because you have a higher probability of getting hit and possibly even concussed and possibly even knocked out the game and either hurt as well. So I want you standing in the back in the pocket throwing the ball. Yes, I'm glad you can run.
Yeah.
But I'm nervous when you're out on the
yeah.
perimeter.
But
Something bad.
You're gonna
can
be
happen.
as a coach. You're gonna be nervous. Period.
Well, what's going? We'll get into because we'll jump into AFC shortly. But the interesting thing, Urban Meyer said the mobile quarterback who can throw cannot be stopped, and that's what he based his offenses on. He was saying that once your quarterback is mobile and can run, these defensive linemen who 270, 280 cannot put their cleats in the dirt real hard and know he's going to be right there. That's where I'm going to come and get him and tee off on.
Yes.
You have to approach a little, without the same fire or whatever.
I
So
think-
you need some kind of mobility there,
Right,
moving
right.
forward.
And
I think-
I agree with Urban Meyer, except I have one problem.
Uh-oh.
Just one problem.
Uh-oh.
Let me hear that.
He did that on a collegiate level.
Yeah.
Where when
Yeah,
the
yeah,
quarterback
yeah.
gets
That's-
hurt, guess
yeah.
what? You're in somebody's living room
Yeah.
with a
yeah.
replacement. Free
I agree. I
on
agree.
scholarship. So now you transform that into the NFL. There's not the next man up coming back. This not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
If you get your best quarterback knocked out, you're looking on the bench. You're scouring the waiver wire for a replacement.
Yeah.
It's not like college.
Yep.
It's not, and that's the problem. Yeah, it worked in college. That mentality can work in college because you can always go out and get another kid for free, no contract, no salary cap implications, none of that. And the pros, totally different story.
And for the
different
running
story.
quarterback for the first 5 years till he gets the second contract, you can run him till they say after that, like I want to spend this money. like when I was trying to earn it, I'll run
But
that.
if you have that
Right.
mentality, you gotta want to invest the money in that backup. You gotta have a solid backup.
And it's
Oh, you mean like a $20 million Nick Foles backup?
hey man, if that's what it takes.
I'm sorry. So Carson Wentz gets knocked out. He wants to run the ball. Unfortunately, he gets knocked out. I bring in a replacement for $20 million.
Nah, that's not going down.
It's not going down in the NFL.
But
No.
you're seeing it because you look at the Buffalo offense with Josh Allen. They definitely incorporated a lot of run and a lot of quarterback runs, like straight runs. A lot with Josh Allen. He was a big guy. He's 6'3", 235 pounds. He even caught the touchdown pass in the game, whatever. So I'm seeing from the quarterback position, even at the pro level, you're seeing the RPOs, you're seeing kind of this mobility and this thing seep its way into the game. They're wondering because a lot of people are playing nickel and a lot of people are playing the pass. They're like, we're going to run on you. Like, you want to put these nickel defenses in, you want to take a linebacker out. Well, let's see if these defensive backs who grew up playing 7-on-7 are about this pulling guard life.
Oh yeah. Which we know they not about that life.
At all.
I give you that.
Listen,
At all.
it's the last time I checked, when somebody's coming at you 310 and is mobile and you 200, I think you better
180.
say I like getting this check every Monday.
Business decisions are made.
Yeah, business
definitely.
decisions all day.
So I have one name for you. Big quarterback, real big guy, 6'5". Where's number 2? Cam Newton, I believe his name is. What happened to him?
He became a vegan, and let that be a lesson to you.
He got hurt. No, he got hurt. Got hurt.
He became a vegan. Like all that when he
So,
dropped.
so you're saying he doesn't have the protein in his body? I thought.
Well, he lost so much weight. He no longer was running at 255, 260 pounds.
Oh, I'm sorry. He got down to a meager 225.
Maybe he looked even lighter than that. He looked like 218.
I'm a little league guy. Waited.
Oh, there you go. Well, we already told you get rid of that weight.
Listen, I got the scale. But I mean,
Hey, look, but on a serious note, so let's look at coaches. Period. It doesn't matter what ethnic group, right?
Right.
How many coaches do you know that had quarterbacks under center on a midget well, more on a midget level, on a collegiate level, then goes into the pros, that athletically had a super duper runner that they coached. There's not a lot of them. They don't know what to do with these talents that's coming. They just don't. Like, they don't know what to do with a Lamar Jackson. Jim Harbaugh never coached somebody like that.
No, he's
So
always
guess
had a
what he
pocket
has to
pass.
do? So guess what he has to do? He has to say, you know what? I never saw this before. Let me try to
Let's put something together.
let me try. How many coaches you know on a pro level that's probably going to do that?
Not too
They're
many.
not.
Exactly.
They're
So
not.
there you
They're
go.
not. They're not.
So there you go. So this is why you got guys like the Cam Newtons and are the runners out here that they might potentially get hurt because nobody knows how to teach a combination of quarterback that can run. And we had them in the past, but what would they try to do? Because they didn't know what to do. What did they try to do? That's what they meant with receiver.
That was always
They didn't know.
the case for back in the day, because if you looked at your college games, like Roger the Dodger, Roger Staubach won the Heisman with his legs at Navy, 63.
Right.
A lot of the quarterbacks still ran option in college and passed a little bit. The running game back in the 60s and 70s, you mostly was running the football.
Oh yeah, it was. I'm a drop back and I'm gonna look for the star. But if I can't find him, I'm getting my ass out of here.
Yeah.
That's
Tuck
how it
and run,
was.
tuck and
You
run.
know, yeah.
So
Did you bring up the Naval Academy? I gotta look at their schedule. Hey, no wonder they won the Heisman.
Yeah,
And-
63.
They run the rock.
yeah, but they
Bill
probably.
Belichick's best quarterback all time, by the way. He feels Roger Staubach.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, that's what
Really?
Bill
We're gonna find out when
Well,
Tom when Tom gets out
he
of
did
there.
all 5 years before he started his pro career. He did his naval commitment. So
Right.
yeah,
I did know that. Yeah,
So definitely. Let's jump into the AFC. We had the AFC playoffs this weekend and had one heck of a game. Buffalo at the Texans. Mm-hmm. I felt that Buffalo got too conservative early.
I agree.
I thought they had a chance where they were taking field goals, letting the clock run out. I was like, a 16-point lead, you're one play away from being one play away from being tied ball game. I thought they really had a chance to put the Texans, who were struggling behind the ball, O'Brien, here we go again. And then J.J. Watt gets a sack. And then Mr. Watson, elementary, made a play. Not even going.
But we want to keep him in the pocket.
I'm not even going to get
We
to the
wanna
play
keep
at
him in the pocket.
overtime. But the play where he took 2 or 3 catches into the end zone.
Oh,
well,
I think that we watched that, right? We put the stamp on that one, didn't
Yeah, I was like,
Listen, we talk about business decisions, right?
yeah.
We want him to go out of bounds,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I saw the shoulder like, nah. I need to get this
In the
in
end
there because I'm close.
Yeah. And he took some Texans in the end zone.
He took some in there.
And and then the next play he did the same thing, 2-point conversion over the side. It's a 16-8 game. The whole atmosphere, the whole momentum
Greg,
has changed.
We talked about being nervous. That's when we get nervous. But after he goes in, all the nervousness goes away.
I'll tell you this. I mean, it's a philosophy that we employ ourselves. You're up 16-0. You run the rock, you kill the clock.
Oh yeah,
It's very simple.
Yeah.
When the moment they score the touchdown, and then they score the 2-point conversion and make it basically a 1-possession game, then your mentality as a coach has to change. And I think that's what the problem was. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with trying to run the game out or run the clock out because they were moving the ball successfully on the ground.
Right.
But the moment they scored changed the whole dynamics of that situation.
I agree with you when you said I think they went conservative too soon. You're on the road. I understand trying to maintain, but when you
Don't take the foot off the net.
Don't.
Nah, you
Don't.
can't.
You're
On the road.
You're on the
No, no.
road.
Yeah.
You're on the road. I can see if you're at home, but once they caught that momentum, you were on your heels at that moment because you already switched to a conservative attack.
I mean, Buffalo has a good defense, though. I mean,
And listen,
come on, they have a
apply
time.
that pressure. You're on the road. You know what I'm saying? You can't. You can't.
So
do
you
that.
so your thought is that 16 points wasn't enough.
Not
No,
on the road.
never.
Never.
enough.
You're on the road.
That's
That-
2
that
touchdowns,
that
2-point
one
conversions.
freaking play. That one
That's 2
sack.
pass interference.
Yes, that one sack changed everything.
Wait a minute. The referees are not throwing a flag these days. You got to worry about that.
That
Pass interference
sack
here.
changed the whole outlook of the whole game. At that moment, it would have been like, okay, let's get aggressive again. You know what I'm saying? We're sitting here
Right. That's what I think.
You're
They
sitting
should've-
here talking about, okay, I'm gonna all right, we're up 16, we're fine, we're comfortable. You're not comfortable.
Nah. I'm on the
You're
road. Not on the
comfortable. I'm on the
road.
road.
I
Guess
need
what?
to see the clock at 0 before I can.
You got a kid that is that threat. He can run and he can pass, and he's got a little charisma about him. He wants to win. I'm running that rock with him.
I mean, you gotta
I'm using that RPO.
You got to think. And you guys are probably right. You just can't switch the light switch on when you want to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Especially when things start going
No,
bad.
not when you got.
That's what the great ones are able to do. To calm down. And the thing about it was, and we talk about Deshaun Watson. He made the great play where you draw it up right as a coach. You get two guys free to sack him. He stays up miraculously because both guys hit him at the same time.
Right.
Hits the running back out the backfield. He takes it down to the 5. They kick the field goal, go off and win. Sometimes great players make great plays. Dabo Sweeney,
Pretty
the guy
much.
called him Jordan. And that just solidified, Watson's, status in the league. Whatever. We had no doubts anyway. But I want to talk about the other kid, the Buffalo quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like for a stretch there, he was playing well. I thought he needed to be in concussion protocol because some of the decisions he made down the stretch after
He might have been.
He might. You talk about they flashed to him a couple times on the sideline. They look in his eyes. I was like, should he be in the tent? And he made some decisions running, laddering it to nobody, like the whole 9 yards. What did you think about Josh Allen's performance? Young as a young kid in the postseason. I thought he started off good, got rocky, but just may have been a difference in the game, that stretch where he was all over the place.
He made young mistakes.
Yeah.
Inexperience.
The moment probably just got a little bit too big for him. Yeah. And it happens, man. It happens. Things are going well. You get confidence, and all of a sudden, during the course of the game, somehow, some way, you lose that confidence. You lose that edge, and you just, you're just trying to do something, trying to make something happen, and sometimes what you try to make happen becomes negative.
Is that when you get the essence of like the coaching, when the coaching has to step back to say, look, calm down. Yesterday was the 38-year anniversary of the catch with Dwight Clark and Candlestick last year, and they were showing the replays. But it was a great on that timeout. It was a great conversation Bill Walsh had with Joe Montana. He said, Joe, it's 3rd down. You don't have to force it. You don't have to force it. You're going to throw it high. You're going to roll out, put it out there. If it's not there, throw it out of bounds. Calmly, and all this, Candlestick is going tension, and Bill Walsh's ability to have that conversation calmly. It's 3rd down. It's not our last ditch effort. You don't have to force anything. It's only 3rd down. Throw it out the back of the end zone if it's not there. Throw it away. Throw it high, and we'll come back on 4th down with another play. Just really communicate it in a calm manner, like having while Bedlam is going around. You know what I mean? And that's, I think, the level of greatness when you're coaching.
And how many years was Joe Montana in the league before he had that conversation?
He was not that many years. He was on.
This kid, this is his first, second year in the league.
Second or third, I'm not sure.
Second or third.
But
so he's young.
Yeah, he's
young.
But also,
very
like
young.
we were talking about, I think it was a coaching. They lost because they're coaches to me, because at that moment you were already conservative. Take that kid and you put him. He was already running an RPO where he was already a threat.
Right.
So even if you drag that tight end out there, you give him that option right there in open field. He's a runner, and you got an option there. So that linebacker's froze. You understand what I'm saying? Where he can get a little 7-yard pass, and if not, that runner he can still go run for 3 or 4, and we're sitting at 4th and 2, 4th and 3. You give him a win-win situation.
Okay,
Not when he's, like you say, he's young and experienced. He's trying.
What do you think about it? Who's their head coach? Sean McDermott. So he's a defensive guy. So I'm pretty sure he's.
You know who he is? I'm just asking. I'm asking.
Enlighten me.
Jim Johnson tree.
Oh, so Eagles?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but he's a defensive guy.
Yeah.
So you
Defensive minded coach.
right? So you're talking about you alluded to Bill Walsh, an offensive guy. So I don't know who their OC is, and how many years he's been in the league, and probably didn't have that experience to pull a guy to the side and say, hey, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So you gotta
Coaching.
It's definitely coaching. You know what I mean? And you
You
have
can go
to
there.
be in
How
that
old is Sean
moment.
McDermott?
He's my age.
No,
a little bit
he-
younger than me. But
Young
40s.
guy.
He's in his 40s. He's
In his 40s.
mid 40s, I guess.
Well, the one thing was hilarious.
But you were 25. My fault, Sunni.
The funny part when you're watching guys get coaching jobs, like he got the coaching job, he's 55. We think he's past his prime and is old. I was like, wait a minute, I'll be 51. I was like, 56 is old to be a head coach. I'm like, what's going on here? Well, wait a minute.
I think that word is called seasoned.
Season, yeah.
Been around the block a few
Yeah.
times, but I mean, this is obviously something new for Sean McDermott. You know what I mean? Something that he can probably learn from.
Yeah, build on.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, because they were never thrusted in that situation before. I mean, you talk about a playoff game, a wild card game, a high
On the
intensity
road.
game
On
on
the
the
road.
road,
Yeah.
and these things are breaking
New
down on the
territory,
fly.
new
yeah,
territory.
And you
Yeah.
jumped out early, so you were ready. You jumped out.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
Even for him,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. Especially like I said, he sits on the defense. We don't know how much he gets involved in the offense.
Right.
Yeah.
But somebody have to have the wherewithal to pull the kid to the side. Say, hey, listen here. Down in distance. Here's what's going on. Just relax. We don't even know if that happened.
Yeah.
So look, but we say this all the time, right? We can talk about it right now after Buffalo loses, but we say all the time, oh yeah, they look good. Yeah, they beating everybody. They won 6 or 7 in a row. But when playoff time come, why we say that every time?
Yeah.
Why do we do that? Why we do that? Why we do that every time? Not one time.
Stakes is
Why
high.
do we do that?
Yeah.
Things
Stakes
tighten
is-
up. They
Yeah,
tighten up,
yeah,
and they got tight.
Yeah.
They got
Yeah.
tight. Now what you gonna do? Now we talked about 16 nothing. We just said we agreed that that's not enough.
Yeah.
So things got tight.
Yeah.
Then what you gonna do? So hopefully McDermott and Allen know that. Listen, 16 is not enough.
Yeah.
On the road, it's not enough.
Yeah, we got to
So
go on and finish them.
and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Definitely. The other AFC game,
I love this one.
New England Patriots, Tennessee Titans. The Titans came up in there like 1975, ran the ball down their throat. I mean,
32 carries, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that was just old school football, and it's interesting because you start talking about winning or losing or quarterbacks. The only people that have a record are the quarterback and the coach.
Right.
And
I agree.
Tannehill won a playoff game. He threw 9 passes, or he completed 9 passes. Not that much, maybe about for 53 yards. But he won the game. He got his quarterback victory.
Hey, Elway won the Super Bowl like that. So,
His last one he came out, that
Yeah.
second one,
Yeah.
Terrell Davis.
Yeah,
Definitely. It was all about him. So you go into the game. The Titans played one heck of a game. Stayed who they were. They were true to themselves. Basically, the Titans ran the ball. If we're going to lose this thing or win this thing, it's going to be behind our big back.
Who got us there?
Who got us there? Yeah. So definitely, and he carried them home and ran the rock. The other interesting thing was Brady. We talked about Drew Brees before. In the game, Brady didn't look sharp. He hasn't looked really good all year. Let's be honest. He hasn't been. As he got older, I think they needed more weapons. The loss of Gronk, the loss of a real outside threat, his ability to make the throws the way he did, and especially downfield. Is it time? He said he's going to come back. People are talking about he doesn't want to retire. He doesn't want to do. But what do you think about Brady, who a lot of people think is the GOAT of all time, the greatest quarterback in NFL history?
he is the GOAT. Without a shadow of a doubt, he is the GOAT.
I agree. He definitely is the GOAT.
But I don't know if it's his time. I mean, if you look around, he was in the same situation probably Carson Wentz was in. He was thrown to a bunch of people that just weren't NFL receivers. Just to be frank, they weren't getting open.
But even last year, he had 13 points when he had everybody in the Super Bowl. I mean, it wasn't like they haven't. This offense has not sputtered before. But I think Gronk was a cheat code, basically a lot of times. But he's not at the level where he can carry. Like Tom, we just went down to Walmart. We got some guys out of the aisle,
Grocery aisle.
Yeah.
and now you're going to lead them to the Super Bowl. I don't think it's there anymore.
Listen, how many times, and everybody can agree to this. You were growing up. You had the old head on the court.
Yeah.
You just couldn't leave him open. I don't give a damn how old he was. He just finished. How about Tom is just not looking like a finisher anymore? And I think, listen, when your team only scores 13, it's a problem with you, right?
Yeah.
It's a problem with you. I think the defense. We saw Peyton Manning do this a few years ago, right? He wasn't winning games.
And he was benched, and then
He
came
was
up
just
like
doing
a-
enough. He was just doing enough that a backup quarterback could do to get through. And I think
That
this is
Denver
what
defense was
happened.
loaded.
It was
Loaded.
It was loaded.
Yeah.
So, and I think this is
yes.
the case here. And I think that, listen, 13, 14 points, 17 is not enough when you got a team that's on the other side that could score. And I think this is what he's running into. Guess what, man?
Running attack.
Listen, with the running attack, and guess what? We saw enough. 20-year run. Who had a 20-year run?
You know,
It's about to be done. We saw the greats. We
And it
saw the
started the way
greats.
it ended. Like when they started, it was a defensive team. Dillard was running the
Right,
football.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Grable, who was coaching, was on the linebackers, whatever.
And
Tom just
listen,
did what they did.
we can say what we want, right, about how they do things. We already know. We can go into the cheating, and we already know that one
Tuck
down.
rule, y'all. I mean, tuck rule. Tuck rule. I
So-
don't like him.
yeah,
Oh yeah. So we know.
Yeah, I don't like him.
So-
So, it's good to see him go down. But
Hey, listen, I
So
got, I
we-
the camera,
you know-
so I ain't worried about the tuck rule. I
we can
got film.
separate. Right. We got it all on them, right? But let's be real. Let's be real about this right here. Like Belichick was trying to get rid of him.
yes, sir.
So what does that tell you? I want Garoppolo to be the quarterback. I see I might have 2 or 3. I need to do this now because I gotta what does that tell anybody anything?
yeah.
So that's where we can go. 3 years ago,
Yeah.
he was trying to make a move.
They got a Super Bowl though.
But we trying to get his
so-
future. We trying to go future.
I get you in the
So
future.
now we done. We lost a wild card game
Right.
at home
Right.
to somebody with a quarterback on the other side that's like,
And that's where I was about to
13
go.
is not going to get it.
And you lost to Miami the week before.
And you lost.
Right.
So,
That's why you playing all
So
that.
guess
no,
what? We
well,
2
Miami got
years or
their
3
number every
years.
once
We
in a
2
while.
years or 3 years.
Well, wait a minute.
And Gronk had a good season.
Hold on.
We gotta move, and
Homie,
that's what
I'm-
Belichick was trying to do.
I'm scratching my head because I'm looking across the way.
But he's a
and
legacy. I don't mean to cut you off, but his
can't-
legacy. Are you supposed to? I mean, he's supposed to bow down when he wants to, and I think that's the issue.
Well, that's the
That's
that
the-
was
that
the
was the
problem. That's
issue.
when I
Earned the
can't
right.
get mad.
He's earned the right.
He's earned the right to
I
bow
get
He's
you.
earned the right.
He's earned the right.
But-
But
Not with Belichick.
Yeah,
Belichick.
and that's where
yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's where I'm going
Belichick
next.
don't play.
Hold
That's where
on,
I'm
hold
going
on a
next.
second. So I'm looking across the way, and I'm looking at a rebirth of Ryan Tannehill. I don't even know his name.
Journeyman.
So let me look at his stats. Do we have stats on the guy? How many times you said? 13 times he threw the ball.
Yeah, something like
So he
that.
didn't do
Like
anything.
Something like that.
He didn't do anything. So basically, what he did was turn around and hand the ball off to somebody.
And,
Turn it and hand it off.
and made the key
A few throws. A few
Right.
throws.
The touchdown pass to the tight end and the
that's-
first down to the
but
tight
that's
end.
that's not where I am. Where I am is how many points did they score to win the game? Tennessee. How many points did they
Well,
score?
if you scratch out the touchdown
Touchdown.
play, 14 points.
Yeah.
That's not enough to win no games. So now I look on the offensive end.
Wait a minute, they were winning.
No, that's in big games. That's not going to get it done. Now I got to look on the other side. So we can even go back to the Super Bowl. What was the Super Bowl score when they beat the Rams?
13-6.
That's defense written all over it.
Wait a minute, they put up a good 31 against us.
Nah, we
41, that was back then.
we talking about 13
No
points.
secondary, like you said, has always been.
Hey, listen, man, we made one play to win the game.
Yeah. Hey,
be
listen,
Brandon
y'all
Graham.
made it.
Yeah.
Y'all made it.
One play,
And
listen,
what was the score? How many points did New England score?
It was in the third. That was
All right.
38,
When-
31,
Where-
something like
when
that.
have we
like-
been getting?
It was 8 points. We beat them by 8.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
44,
it was 30
36,
something.
something like
So
that.
when have we been getting point production from this guy or the offense? When did that stop?
It stopped last season, I thought.
Okay.
Beginning of last
Especially,
Okay.
Super Bowl,
So
especially when Grant was
That's
hurt.
fine, but they won the Super Bowl.
But it was not because of the offense. You can't pinpoint offense when you scored 13. The defense won the game. You only gave up a touchdown and 2 field goals.
Peyton
A
Man-
touchdown and a field goal.
Peyton Manning
Just
did
the
the
two-
same thing.
But the defense won.
But we're saying,
But
but
the defense.
He didn't do anything.
But you
that
can
Super
go
Bowl did.
find.
did he
My
retire?
point is, you can go
Yeah.
find somebody to do what he did.
But
Oh,
then
absolutely.
Peyton
So that's
retired.
why you on your way out.
He is on. I'll give it to
That's
you. He's on
what
his
I'm
way
telling
out, but
you.
guess what?
So that's
man,
where
with
I'm
this-
at.
with
But
this
his
man-
legacy has allowed him to bow down.
His
when he
legacy
wants.
allowed him
that's-
to bow
that was
out.
his, and Kraft allotted him that luxury.
Yes,
when you
yes.
Because if it was up to Bill, he'd have been gone.
Yeah,
Yes.
Bill would've had it-
absolutely.
yeah, Bill would've had it
Absolutely.
gone.
But guess what? Bill's not a billionaire. He just works for me, so we can
Yeah.
just do. That's how that works.
I mean, he has a job.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You do what I tell you to do.
Exactly.
Not so much
Whose
that.
house is this?
Not
Is
so
this-
much that
is-
because
Is this your house or is this your
But
daddy's
not so
house?
much that because Belichick is the type of guy I can go walk off or sit in the woods. He can go do that because his legacy is done.
His legacy is
Belichick,
done, but
Belichick
Yeah.
right now, and this is the talk. Belichick was right now saying, "Give me Andy Dalton next year and watch what I do."
Yeah, that's where he
gonna
is.
go-
But
I'm
guess
gonna go get some
but guess what
players.
he's
I'm
gonna
gonna put
find
this
out.
defense
But
up.
guess what he's gonna find out too. This winning thing, you can't plug and replace with this. Not under center.
Yeah.
No.
plug and play.
sir.
No,
No,
you're
sir.
not doing it
No,
under
sir.
And you
center.
got to remember,
And that's
Belichick's
what
a
I want
defensive
him to
guy
find
anyway.
out. That's what
Yeah,
I want him
yeah,
to find
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
You're not doing
It's
that
not
under
gonna
center.
He's a Parcells guy. I mean, that game that the Titans won was strictly like running the football. Your punter is a weapon like when they had Sean Landetta with the Giants back in the day. That had Parcells written all over it. We play field position. We run the football. Our quarterback will make a few throws to a tight end, and then we'll win the game and on a play. And that's exactly what they did. And there's more than one ways to skin a cat, as they say. I don't want to pee the people after me.
That was my argument with the Eagles. You get them field goals, play field position.
It definitely
Yeah,
move
but
on.
that changes the mindset. Seattle's mindset changes. They
Listen,
kick a couple
it's
field goals.
easy.
I
It's
gotta do a
easy.
couple
It's
of things.
easy to say. We can go there. It's easy to say if you kick a field goal and you're at if it's a 52-yard field goal, right? And you kick it and you make it, you gotta kick it off again. We know how that goes. If you kick it and miss it,
They got great field position.
they can score a touchdown. Nobody takes that in consideration. You know,
I
just
know,
when you-
but that's what I'm saying, but they
my
did.
ex-coach used to kick 57-yard field goals with 50 minutes left to go in the game. 57 minutes. Like, what are you doing, fool? But
Might have been a
I
spread
digress.
on the game or
Yeah,
something. You know
yeah,
what I
it
mean?
was
Got to,
crazy.
over under or something.
But Tom Brady, through his play, there's two things that he gets to decide to say when he goes. I think Belichick was ready to move on 2 years ago.
Oh, without a doubt.
Breeze and Brady aren't under contract. They don't have contracts.
Hey, we
They're
got a
free
new
agents.
wave, man. We got a new wave coming.
They're free agents, so it'll be interesting to see where everybody ends up next year, whatever. At one point, you got to start grooming somebody.
Well, wait a minute. Who's their backup? I don't even know who their backup is.
Who is?
Brady. If Brady goes down, who goes in the game?
I don't even know.
Probably somebody you can't name, you can't even pronounce. I don't know.
Somebody, listen, somebody.
It might be me for all I know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, because he hasn't gotten hurt, because he doesn't run the ball. So,
Yeah.
you don't know who his backup is. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they haven't drafted a quarterback.
I think New England's gonna make a move. I think Brady leaves this summer because it's January.
Does he
They got to
play
get it
again?
right. They got to get
Wait,
it right.
does he go to
before-
L.A.? You think he goes to L.A.?
I think he goes someplace where he can show Belichick that I'm gonna kick your. We ain't got to finish the sentence
Who's that?
because I don't think they like each other.
Where they
I
gonna
think
go?
it's business. I don't know.
Listen,
I don't know. Somebody can use him. That's for
Mr. Carm
sure.
had a good year, but I'll take him.
Who?
Oakland. I'm sick of Carr. And he had a good season.
They might do that.
Well,
That's an Oakland move.
That's
That's an Oakland move.
That is the head coach's move. The head coach has always been about veteran quarterbacks. Like
Right.
he's always been about give me a veteran quarterback and I'm gonna run the ball. I want to run the ball. I want to play power football with a veteran quarterback in defense.
You still got to have people around them. bottom
Yeah.
line.
Yeah,
you
yes,
gotta
you
have
do.
you
You
gotta
gotta have
have
some talent pool.
Right.
You got to.
I mean,
Hey,
because
listen,
Tannehill
if
can win a
AB
playoff game.
if Antonio Brown doesn't leave, the Raiders might be all the way up in the mix. So we're not even gonna go there.
Great, that's
That's
good.
just-
Well, on that note, let's jump into the divisional round. We got the divisional round coming up of the playoffs this weekend. We got the first game. San Francisco 49ers are hosting the Minnesota Vikings. The league did the Minnesota Vikings no favors, but putting them in New Orleans, and now they fly across the country and playing the first game on divisional weekend. San Fran's rested, getting some people back. How do you guys think this game goes? Jimmy G's first playoff game. He'll be going up, Kirk Cousins. Only the quarterback and coaches have a record. Kirk got the monkey off his back. Is he satisfied? Is he still hungry? How do you guys see this San Francisco Vikings game playing out? To me, it has like the Frisco running away kind of because of the situation. But how do you guys think?
I like Frisco. First of all, they got a very nice little gym in their tight. It was a kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's a nice asset.
He's
to
a
have.
beast. Yeah,
He's a nice
Yeah.
asset to have. So I think they have the weapons on offense to score 4 or 5 touchdowns. But can Kirk Cousins and them keep up with him. You know, because you got a disgruntled wide
Because
receiver.
Phelan has his ankles.
Phelan's hurt, and then
Diggs is tripping.
Diggs is exactly. He's on his Terrell Owens trip. He might be in his parking, be in the driveway doing sit-ups. You know what I mean? So it's San Fran looks very good, and they're healthy.
I'm going with San Fran. It's a physicality on that side that I don't care what you got going on the other side, because they coming with the finesse, and you know we all know what the physicality does. You got to earn everything. The pressure's coming up front. We physical on the corners. We physical with the linebackers. I think it's going to get them over, and I think they get up out of there. I can't give you a number now, but I think San Francisco gets out and it's not even close. I don't see a 30-point win or anything of that, but I think they stay in control of the ball game just because of how physical they are.
Definitely.
Yeah, that defense is
I don't see it that way. I think, and it's hard because you know what, Minnesota's traveling all over the place. They're going from New Orleans over here to the West Coast, but I think they keep it close. I think it's closer than what people
What's close?
expect. Close.
You cover the people.
Three.
The people
Three.
want to know where to put their change in their pocket.
They wait for you, Greg. They wait for you, Greg.
They wait for you to make the call.
I think they cover.
Oh, okay.
What's the number?
It's number I don't even know.
I think I'm giving San Fran 10.
No.
10? Wow. Hold on, let me go check that.
No, I think
In between 8,
I'm with you. I'm 10.
Like we already
10.
said,
It's going
coming from the road, they ain't, you about to go into a fresh.
It's -7 I have here.
Okay,
Yeah, it's slinging.
and you have that
-7.
defense.
It's
Them guys on the
-7.
defensive side in San Fran are flying.
They are coming.
They are
coming.
flying. They're playing good.
They
defense.
coming off
And
the edge is coming.
And it's
Yes.
-7. If they're flying, it'd be +7.
Wow.
Something. The guys have spoken. The game will be close. It'll be a lot closer than people expect.
If I get a 34-24, to me in the playoffs that's a blowout.
yeah, double digits definitely.
Yeah.
I don't see double digits. I think it's less than 7 as well.
If I see in between 7 and 10, if I see anything less than that,
Well, think about it. This is Jimmy G's first rodeo. He watched a lot of them.
Yeah.
He's got to get involved now. You know what I mean?
hey,
so,
you can say that about both sides.
Well, we'll sit there.
we
we'll
played
see.
last week. Got the monkey off his back.
Yeah.
Played last week. We played in a few other playoff
New Orleans
games.
don't scare you,
New Orleans was 12-4, something like that.
but they don't
13-4?
scare you. They don't
So-
scare you.
Their
One side of the ball
defense-
scares you.
Yeah,
One side of the ball scares you.
I think they
This
took some
over here-
defensive line hits.
Both
Yeah.
sides of the ball scares you in San Fran.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. That's why I give them 10.
And then it makes Belichick look good. Jimmy G come out there and maintain that. He's gonna.
Yeah.
That's I told you.
Yeah.
You should
I
have
give him
kept
10.
him. We had him.
I give them the 10. I give them the 10.
Yeah, no, like I said, that -7 is telling me something. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
It could. It could.
You looking for that?
4-point game.
You looking for that 1987 upset?
Are we?
When Carter and them boys came
Ooh,
in there
Carter.
and beat Frisco back in '87, which was the leeway to the.
Was it Tommy quarterback?
Yeah.
Tommy
What was it? Tommy, I forget his
number
name.
9. Number
Yeah,
9.
yeah.
I don't forget.
Yeah. They came in and shocked San Francisco.
He's about to
that
go
year.
back. They about to go out the west. Hey Dwight, I hope you're watching, man.
Definitely. The next game in the NFC, you got Seattle, Green Bay. Seattle, I don't know how they do it. We don't know how. If you watch a Seattle game, no matter who they're playing, it's going to be a close game.
Plus,
Oh, yeah.
Because they're going to make
yeah.
if they're better than you, they make penalties and
Yeah,
you're
it's
close.
no running
If you're
away
better
with
than them,
anything with
you
this.
jump out on them, they come out.
Under all day.
And Pete Carroll, no matter where they are, where they're at, it's going to be a tussle.
And they come ready to play. I don't care. East Coast, West
Look
Coast,
goes-
South. Carroll's
they
ready.
Road Warriors.
The old hippies got him going.
The road Warriors. How you see this game playing out? You got Russell Wilson, who's trying to, he's got a chip. Could have 2 if they just hand the ball off. And then Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers said, "Hey, I need a new direction. I need some new talent. They got a new coach." And Aaron Rodgers has had an Aaron Rodgers type year. Like they've struggled on offense, and they've been really. They got the Smith brothers in free agency, the 2 defensive ends, and they've been running the ball. They've been running the ball. Number 33 for Green Bay has been putting in work for them. They've kind of like changed over. How do you see this game playing out? Seattle and Green Bay.
Oh, you said real quick. Had they ran the ball, it would have been 2. Had they thrown a flag, it would have been 2. It's that simple. But it's Green Bay. It's going to be probably frigid. That changes.
It's a 6 o'clock at night game.
And that changes.
Oh,
the
they said,
dynamic.
listen, they said the forecast is supposed to be snow.
Yeah.
So, what about your arm? What you say? Your arm is what? What? We getting rugged.
Yeah.
But y'all act like it's not cold and it don't snow in Seattle.
Hell yeah.
It ain't
It
Green
ain't
Bay.
Green Bay. It's not Green Bay.
It's not Green Bay.
It's not Green. Listen, we might get 10 inches
I heard
in Green
I heard
Bay.
a story. I forget what it was. A Green Bay team. And matter of fact, they were playing Seattle, and they said they came out and they went back in the locker room and put on more clothes. And the folks on the Green Bay side was like, "That's not going to help you. That's just what you got to deal with up here."
Yeah.
So the cold does play a factor, and it snows.
You can try to psych yourself out.
You can. I mean, they come out there with short sleeve shirts on, or
You
whatever.
know you want to.
Yeah, I mean, the word frostbite comes to mind, but I mean that's just me.
I think it's going to be I think it's a 4-point game either way. Whoever
I'll
gets the
give
ball,
it that.
It's
Yep,
definitely
yep,
gonna be a
yep.
close game.
it's going to be a
Definitely.
4-point game, and whoever has the ball last.
Listen, if Seattle wins, I'm not surprised. And guess what? So I'm gonna make y'all guys think a little bit. And this is all fresh still in our head. And you just brought it up, Sunni. Seattle beats Green Bay. Who's next for them?
Be the Niners.
Niners. So we already penciled the Niners in. How about Seattle gets past them? They go to the Super Bowl 17-27, no matter who they play. 17-20. Seattle's down in the Super Bowl, no matter who they play. They get it on the 1. Give it to beast mode.
Yeah.
Boom.
For sure.
Boom.
For sure.
Now, what's messing with that?
Yeah. I like it.
They probably will give it to
Oh,
them.
what's it? They're going to have to give it to
They're
him.
gonna have to,
And
for
guess
sure.
what? You knew where it was going then, and you know where it's going now.
They may give it to beast mode tomorrow.
Oh, they're
gonna
going to
have
give
to
it to
give
beast
it
mode
to
tomorrow.
They
They
definitely
going to
gonna
get beast mode. Just got up off the couch and was like, y'all forget
Skittles.
Skittles.
Man.
They got
It was
Skittles.
it was amazing for him 18 months out in tip-top shape.
Man, some guys just stay in shape. Some guys stay in tune.
I
I
love
don't
that.
know.
And
If,
it's
I don't know.
football
I
shape.
don't know if beast mode was staying in shape.
I
I think he just got it.
Listen. He made plays with his legs, but I mean
He did.
he made plays in the passing game last week.
He did.
Outside of the run when he
Yeah.
absolutely ran.
Beast
Jennings
mode's
over.
still in the gym.
But,
He got the keys to the facility.
ran him over,
You got to
but
let
yeah.
him in. He's
But no, he absolutely killed the Eagles in the passing game, which is remarkable. Again, 18 months out or removed from the game, that's remarkable. But I see it the other way. I think Green Bay closes the deal. I think that just the weather's going to be a problem. Yeah.
Is this a different Green Bay? Is this with the Smith brothers? They can get after Russell. They can pressure him. They can drop their four back. They don't have to do a lot of gambling. That may open up some lanes for him to get that couple drives where he gets a 19 or 20-yard run. With the Smith brothers, their acquisitions and free agency on the defensive line. This is their game.
I think
this is your game and the running backs game.
I think they'll just be able to contain them. I mean,
Yeah.
Seattle's not beating the brakes off of people. I mean, they're
They're
beating.
not outscoring you. They're not
They're
doing
just
anything.
winning. They're just winning.
They're just winning.
And they're winning a lot of close games. And I think Cinderella and the slipper comes off.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
Whoa.
Yeah,
I don't think
the
it's
slipper-
a Cinderella
it's the
situation
slipper, because they
he
could
was
easily
an
be-
MVP candidate.
Right.
His kid has been playing ball all year long, whether it's close games or blowouts.
Okay, so-
he's still been
so-
balling,
and
and they've been winning.
they've been winning, but the games have been close. Like you're
They're,
talking
all
about
their
one-
games are close.
All of them.
So
I'm
It's just
more
the way
worried
they
about
play
Green
it.
Bay than I am Seattle.
It's
to tell you
like-
the
it's
truth.
like-
if the
who's
game,
gonna show up-
if
who's
the
gonna show
game,
up
if
for
the
Green
game,
Bay?
Aaron
so-
Rodgers don't. He's what? Like I'm looking at Aaron
Like
Rodgers.
Seattle's
what?
the most
Like what?
winningest, undisciplined team I've ever seen. Anytime
Right.
you play them, you're like, I don't want to play Seattle because I know I'm gonna be in the game. I don't know what's
Right.
going to happen.
Right, so,
Right.
so,
But in the
so,
fourth quarter,
so
it's going to
Green
be
Bay.
3 points.
Yeah,
Right.
so
Yeah,
Green Bay,
right,
right?
right.
So Green Bay,
no matter
right?
what happens, the game's
And
gonna be
that's-
close.
and
Right.
that's-
So if that's what I know, I'm Aaron. What? So Aaron Rodgers, right? Like, what about him? Like,
Aaron.
like he got a strong arm. Like, when have we seen him go to someplace else and pull out a victory, even at home? Like, when are we just giving him? When are we giving him victories?
Well, Okay.
Well, I
He's
know
the
from when
pretty.
that
He's the pretty
divisional
model.
game
He's the
against
pretty
Dallas,
model.
we
He's
beat
the
them.
pretty
wait,
model.
wait,
He's the
wait,
pretty
wait,
But
model. He's the pretty
I like
model.
Seattle because I like the asylum. The asylum is running well.
Wait a minute.
Right.
He knocked
He
us
done.
out twice.
Wait a minute. Didn't he throw a Hail Mary against Seattle on Monday night?
You can throw a Hail Mary.
You know, all I'm
The
saying to you
divisional
is,
round, the reason McCarthy's in Dallas because he beat him twice with Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs.
Is that what we doing?
Dez caught it, and then the other one,
yeah.
it's a
Here
great
we
throw
go.
by Red.
Listen,
Great throw by Aaron
I'll
Rodgers.
take Aaron
because they
Rodgers, but I'm
rushed
trying
three
to tell
people
you.
on him.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm not checking the box like, because they're going to Green Bay. It's Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not checking the box, but think about if you look at last week, right?
I think they win because of other things they put around Aaron Rodgers.
I mean,
It's not
but
all about
look,
him.
Look what
It's not.
happened last week.
The
We
young
had
kid. I like
three-
that young kid running.
Last week, and correct me if I'm wrong, but were there 3 road victories last week?
For who?
The team on the road won.
Oh, yeah.
So you think that narrative is going to continue in the
You
division?
don't have to
round?
continue, but one of them can get it. How about the one could
They're
be
not the
Seattle?
one.
Seattle could beat if anybody.
Seattle
it's
is
them.
the one.
If
anybody can
anybody
win
is
on the road,
them.
it's
That's what I'm
Minnesota's not
saying.
winning on the road.
Because they're going to keep the
Minnesota's
game
not.
close. Because they're going to keep it
The
close.
game, exactly.
If anybody, I'm not saying they
And they're
are.
finding ways to
But
win.
if anybody, yeah,
all
man,
Well,
they-
I'll tell you this.
long.
I'll tell you this. Both NFC teams in the wild card round, they were road victories. Somebody's luck's coming to an end.
Of course,
Somebody's
of course,
luck's coming
of
to an
course.
end. It's just not
They
going to
got to
happen.
run out.
Well, the NFC was tough. We all said the NFC was a tougher division. The NFC was tough this year. It was really tough. Like, I mean, you had to look at it. So let's look at the AFC. You got the game tonight in Charm City. Weebay and the boys calling everybody Avon, Barksdale. They calling
Lamar.
Here come Lamar. So they calling everybody in. This may be the shortest football game in playoff history. Both teams like to run. I don't see a lot of passing and the clock stopping. It's going to be like a continuous running clock. I expect Tennessee to try to run that thing 35 times. And we know what Baltimore wants to do. So
Baltimore is going to do what Baltimore does, and you not going to be able to do anything about it. That's what it is.
But here's the interesting thing when I'm looking at this game. I think Baltimore has outscored opponents in the fourth quarter maybe by about 96 points or something like that. Like, definitely. And they essentially been off for 3 weeks. They didn't play the last game, and then they didn't play last week, and now they're going to play this week. And they use that to jump out on people. They jump out on you. They score. They get the momentum going. And not only are they scoring, they're scoring touchdowns with holding 7 minutes on the clock.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they'll get, 3 touchdowns, and you look at time of possession, they got, 18 minutes of time of possession and 21 points.
That's a
And
that's
then
a stat that we
and
forgot about.
The MVP is playing like the MVP.
Yeah.
He's balling.
Yeah, it's
Everybody thought that the one asset of his game was his passing,
and he
has.
tuned that.
He's got. That's not a question no more. And you keep forgetting his feet are an asset.
Everything's an asset.
And
man.
I like what they did was they tried to go out and they got 3 tight ends on that team. They're like 6'7".
What that tell you?
6'5".
What that tell you?
They went out and tried to get all 3 Gronks they could get.
Yes.
And I think what has happened is they said, look, you guys, everybody coaches 7-on-7. They have 7-on-7 teams. Nobody has a camp where you line up and do Oklahoma drills.
Oh, no. We done with that. We might be done with that. We done.
There's no Oklahoma drills anymore. So they go out and say, okay, you want to play in these soft sets, 5 nickels, all these D-back, and we're going to spread. But we're going to spread you out with 3 tight ends and a running back and a fullback, and we're going downhill. It's going to be interesting to see how Tennessee matches that. Because I think Tennessee takes on their coach's mentality when the team Grable. When you're linebacker like Ron Rivera, when your head coach is ex-linebacker, those teams are just tough. Like, they just,
So here's my thing with Tennessee. Now, I know what they're coming with. They got a head coach that his identity is, listen, I don't care who you are. I love it. But guess what? You're only as good as your QB.
Yeah.
So that's what it's going to come down to. Your QB threw the ball 15 times last week. 15. So guess who played quarterback to me last week? Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
He played quarterback
Henry.
and he played running back. And guess who's not having it this week?
The Ravens.
Yeah, they not. You're not doing it. You're not doing 15 times.
So-
you have to prove yourself
Right.
to get out of this, and you're not doing
He's
it.
not running
You're not.
the ball
Nah,
34
you're not
times.
doing it. You're
So
not doing it. You're
Where
not
I
doing it.
come from, we call that a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
That's what we call that.
And
But that
ain't gonna
trick may
happen.
be really good though.
Nah, the trick is good. The trick
Oh,
is
the
good.
trick is very,
trick is
very,
very
good.
good. It's not on the trick this
So
week.
Cole, the
You
last,
know?
the last
trick
8 games
is-
of the season, he had what, almost 1,000 yards alone.
It's not on the trick this week.
It's
But
not.
the thing of it is, Baltimore has willing tacklers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, they
they
come
got
with
willing
attitude.
everything.
Yeah.
They're willing.
Yes.
What you gonna do?
I-
What you? Go ahead.
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
don't think New England had willing tacklers.
Nah, they
You know what I mean?
they
So-
survived on defense.
Right.
But this is different. This is
everybody
a
ran
different
on New England.
animal.
If you look at New England, everybody kind of ran on them this year. If you go back to that first Cleveland game, my man, they had a lot of yards on them. Like people ran on New England
Yeah.
this year. Yeah.
Listen, Baltimore, people won't give them their respect. They are one of the last. They're like a dinosaur. We got defense, and we tough, and we know you're not gonna run down. Henry's not doing what he did last week.
Right.
And
Luke
we can
spanking
bet
on
that.
him.
We can bet that.
He said you
That's
can
not
take
gonna
that to the bank.
happen.
So
Because what I'm gonna do for you, because we got coaching on Baltimore,
Yeah.
we gonna put 8 in the box. You know what you do? I got a quarterback. We got Tennessee got a quarterback. This is Baltimore's philosophy. I don't believe in him.
Right.
I don't believe in
think
nothing.
you can beat
I
him.
don't believe. So guess what I'm gonna make you do?
Throw the ball.
We got tacklers. We got linebackers. We got defensive men. We gonna come get Henry.
Right.
And I want Tannehill. If you get out of here, because you're gonna need 30 throws, which that's not in you.
Right.
We can agree.
I definitely can
And it's
agree.
not. You're not doing that.
Right.
You're not
So you're
doing
getting
it.
up.
Throw
So
the
you're not.
ball.
It's not gonna happen.
And then
It's not gonna happen.
Throw the ball.
Get you your 3. Maybe you get a 3 here, but you can get you your 3 and outs. And no, by the way, I got these goons on the other side of the ball.
Oh yeah.
They're
I'm
scoring
telling you,
7.
man. I'm telling
Right.
you.
They're
I'm
not
telling
scoring 3. They're
Right.
scoring
But-
7.
Just like to your point,
you. Be prepared for the blowout.
make him throw the ball. This is the
Yeah.
guy that got to. Tannehill's the guy that got to be.
Yeah.
And I don't.
You got to
think
play
he can
lights out.
You don't trust. Nobody trusts him.
No.
Nobody.
Right.
Well, Tannehill was like, "Look, surprise, I'm here." But it's going to be interesting because I just like the toughness. This is going to be a tough, hard-nosed
Oh
game.
yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be physical.
It's gonna be physical.
It's gonna be
It's
very physical.
Very
and,
physical.
and guess
game.
who we will bet our money on the team that has the most physicality.
You would lean toward Baltimore.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They've been playing that way for like 2 years now.
Not this just
They've
this
always
season.
played
Right.
that way.
Not this
That's just-
season.
that's
That's
just
their pedigree.
That's
That's their
their
pedigree.
narrative,
That's
bro.
that's in their DNA.
I'm
from
riding
the
with
city.
that. And Ray Lewis is somewhere around saying, "Listen,
Listen, this is what we got to do.
yeah.
We got to do a little step, a little
Offense
jump.
had to catch up to the D because the D's been there.
Oh
for
yeah,
years.
absolutely.
They've
years.
always drafted
Even 8-8,
defensive players.
even when they were 8-8, you just couldn't go in there and be like, "Oh, we just gonna run the ball down their throat." No. It's not happening. It's not just
They're
going
doing
down.
to win just enough for the
Yeah.
offense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That other game, this may be a high-flying affair. Tennessee at Kansas City. Texans at Kansas City. Houston went into Kansas City earlier this year and won 24-20. In the game, it's interesting that Kansas City's defense was struggling at the time, and you know how Andy Reid has a propensity to not play complementary football and pass, and left his defense hanging, and the Texans were able to exploit them and go into Kansas City and get a win, 24-20. A lot of pressure. We even talked about pressure this week, and this is pressure on Andy Reid right here, because I think Belichick's out the way.
Right.
You know, Belichick. This is the best quarterback you've had, since McNabb, and now you're coming in hosting a team that beat you before, so you should be focused. It's not like you got to be like, okay, we're not going to take them lightly. They've already came in here during the regular season and got the job done against us. How do you see the Texans at Kansas City?
So let me stop you. Because I had to deal with Andy Reid for 13 years.
Hey, man, he built your program up there, man.
He did build the program.
And
but he just,
Andy Reid tree got you to Super Bowl off the Andy, one of his apples, one of y'all plucked right from the limb there.
there you go. So one thing about Andy Reid this year, as opposed to all the other years, is, to my knowledge, he's not calling the plays. He may be in on them, but he's not in calling.
Andy has a lot of
About
influence.
time.
A lot of influence.
But
Yeah,
he's
he
not calling the plays.
This I
Is
think
Bieniemy calling the play? Who's calling?
I don't know who's calling the plays, but it's not him.
right.
He's very engaged.
He's engaged. He's in. No,
Because
he
he's
should
always
be.
on the bench with Mahomes.
Right.
He's not even looking at the defense.
Nah,
Yeah, he's
no,
not.
no.
He's
And-
not.
But see, he's not looking at the defense. But Kansas City wins or loses this game based on the play of what defensive team shows up. That defense there is their Achilles heel right now.
And they had a nice
know?
stretch. They didn't play anybody tough, but during that nice stretch, they still
but they
held it
have-
down to 10 points. People there.
Yeah, but they don't show me enough grit to be confident in what they're going to give you in that game. You know, like we know Baltimore's got a defense. You know, you got to bring it to them.
Yeah.
You have to bring it to them. Can Kansas City defense bring it to Texas? Can they?
I think they get out of here.
I believe they can.
Because we could have easily, if you put a more experienced, disciplined team in against Texas, they out. You know, and I think Kansas City has more than what the Texans has, so I think they get out of here. And Mahomes, let's not forget about him. You know, he's the difference maker.
He's more seasons. He said, my numbers aren't better, but I played, 2 years in, and I feel more comfortable.
More season and home cooking.
And he's got weapons.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, the enemy is the OC.
He is OC.
He is the OC.
But they said he's not. Andy's still calling the play. Andy's always called the play.
You can see the play.
From the way they pass, I know.
Exactly.
He has his footprint on it, but
I've seen now, Andy.
Oh, he's babysitting. That's for sure.
I've seen too many passes in a row to know Andy's not.
that's from the old Dallas days. Dallas and Philadelphia days.
The enemy may be a sous chef, but he ain't the chef.
No.
You know what I mean? Andy's still cooking that thing up and serving too. Like definitely. So you guys definitely think Kansas City is going to take this one?
Yeah.
Again, you're dealing with how many teams are going to just come into your house and win these games?
Twice. This will be twice. The Texans will have to beat them twice this year.
Right. That's hard to beat the team. It's hard.
Number one, it's hard to beat the team twice, but at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, man, if they pull that off, and I don't know what the spread is on that game either. I bet you it's probably close under.
It's tight.
I would say it is. It's probably about 6.
Mahomes is a difference maker. He's the guy that's
He is a
going.
difference.
But Deshaun said, "Look, didn't you see me last week? I'm a
Oh, we
difference
saw
maker."
him.
He's
We
like,
saw
I'm
we
a
saw him
Deshaun
16 down too at home.
I'm a
And
Deshaun
you think
fan.
you're gonna do that up in Arrowhead? You know that's not going. You can't.
The Chiefs are a 9.5-point favorite. It's the Chiefs line.
It's also hey, and it's in the conditions. It ain't.
The Packers are a 4-point favorite at home.
Right, but that's not saying much. I mean,
It
you
ain't,
get 3 for playing at home. So somebody gave you 4.
it's
You're
not
supposed
warm.
to anyway,
Listen,
right?
It's not warm in Kansas City.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna be
it's
good
temperature
barbecue
out
down there. They're gonna be the pits are gonna be fired up.
Oh yeah.
They're good barbecue.
Oh, they're gonna be
They're
doing
good
it.
barbecue.
I love the Kansas City barbecue. So to be honest with you, they're in Memphis. To be honest,
But definitely, I think Kansas City takes this up. It's now or never for Andy Reid and these Chiefs. I think with the way the thing is, and then next week you get to go to Baltimore. If everything plays out, you got the two, prototype quarterbacks that are young, and you got that NFL rivalry.
I'll put it to you this way: if Andy Reid doesn't get it this year, he's never gonna get it.
I can.
New
I'm with
England's
you.
out of the way.
I'm with you with that.
New England and they being outcoached by Bill Belichick's out
and
the
Brady,
way.
yeah.
It might be
Now-
an Andy year, man.
It might be
an Andy year, man.
It's possible, but they're still a juggernaut.
Oh
Down the
yeah,
street-
that's it.
down the
we
street in
can't.
Baltimore. That's
we can't.
I know
Yeah.
I know we all say ifs and buts and candy and nuts, but Andy is a guy lining up offsides from going to the Super Bowl. If he's not offsides, that's a pick by Brady, and the Chiefs walk out of there and they go to play
He's a
Rams.
He's a videotape away from not being a Super Bowl winning coach.
Yeah.
But when they taping, you got to be able to change that up on the fly. Like,
I shouldn't
I don't
have
know
to
about
change
that.
anything on the fly. I don't know why you have a video camera.
I don't know
at
why
my
you know
practice.
everything I'm doing. That's what I
We
don't know.
audible if they're making the correct change.
Yeah.
Oh, you doing that? Hold on.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
And
we
people
can't,
are moving.
We can't forget that. Let's not forget.
Mind you, Philadelphia, for what it's worth, was putting in some work in the first half against New England. Then all of a sudden, they came out and made all the right adjustments.
all the right moves.
That's what tape
I
do
felt
for you.
that before y'all because I'm in Pittsburgh. So I watched all year. Wait a second. How nobody picked this blitz up and then all of a sudden every time we blitz?
Blitzburg back then.
Yeah. Why are you picking our blitz up? every time.
This intuition.
Probably had a guy.
Somebody's in the
Got a guy.
stands.
Yeah, got a guy.
Somebody who's willing to come
Got a
out to
guy.
the practice in 20 degrees with a camera.
Yeah.
They had spyware before spyware.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. On Monday night, we got the big championship game, college football. Let's jump into college. Before I want to get there, then I'm gonna bring my man Artie up to talk about the cigars, all the beautiful cigars they got down here at the Lit Lounge, doing well.
So I just had a nice little house selection.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I told you
House
when
selection is
you
good
go
here.
in the humidor, you're gonna come out with something.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm probably gonna grab another one.
I know you are. I know it.
Definitely. So we got the final two, the battle of the Tigers, Clemson Tigers and the Bayou Bengal Tigers, LSU Tigers. You got Dabo Sweeney and Coach Orgeron. I think Greg, you're a big Clemson guy. You've been calling Clemson all year. People were suspect of Clemson's schedule, but you said whoever they played, they still beasts. I don't care who they playing.
I said it. Yes, I did.
Coach. I think the sentimental favorite is in this game is LSU.
Definitely.
I mean, Clemson is playing in LSU. I mean, it's gonna be it's tough to go down. And like Coach O said, we playing for
Gumbo.
the state. We playing for the state of
You
Louisiana.
got gumbo.
Hey.
Yeah, and
But he has Dabo has a ball player in remember the Tights? Old Sunshine can play some ball.
Yeah.
Old Sunshine can play some ball.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you this, and I said it, before they went out and beat Ohio State. They got punched in the mouth. They got dropped
Yes.
repeatedly and got back up.
Champions. You don't win 28 football games in a row by accident.
And that's
Exactly.
the conversation that we had. So and that's the
yeah.
conversation that we had. We they're not playing anybody. They played Watford or they played South Carolina. And I'm like, did you see the talent, the blue tip talent that these guys have on their team? These guys have a heart of a champion. Oh, they're in a weak league. Okay. They beat everybody.
It's hard to win 28 games.
It is hard to win 28 games. But in my opinion, the championship game was played on the 28th when they beat Ohio State.
Wow.
They beat Ohio State. Because what's going to happen, in my opinion,
Two quarterbacks here.
and two
Heisman
quarterbacks.
Trophy winner Burrows.
Heisman Trophy, the transfer Burrows couldn't get on the field at Ohio State. Let's be
Oh.
clear.
But he made a move.
He made a move he made a business decision.
Business decision.
Well, Haskins was there, so he meant sometimes you got to do
that means he wasn't good enough.
Yeah,
That's what that means. Why'd you leave?
Yeah.
Why'd you leave? So there's a reason why
Opportunity.
you left. And the most likely the reason was, believe it or not, because he's going to be the number one pick in the NFL.
Yeah.
At Ohio State, he just wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
So now, Clemson, as opposed to Oklahoma, we're not going to get no off coverage.
Trevor Lawrence and them.
We're not going to roll no coverage. We're going to line up,
You think they're going to play a man all the
and we're
receivers?
going to play man across the board, and we're going to rush the passer.
How is Clemson had the defensive line the last few seasons? This defense.
Their defensive line is not on par with their
No,
previous
no.
defensive lines that they had. They're not. They're bigger.
not.
They're bigger.
Number 11 for them is one of the best athletes in the country. They just put him in the middle of the field like he's like 230 pounds.
Yeah, but their D line, their rushers are not on par with the rushers that they've had.
Yeah.
But
LSU does have a running attack too to help out.
you think the LSU runner who has injury he's coming hamstring, and you think he's better than the number 2 kid from Ohio State?
He may
No,
catch them.
no,
He
That
can
would be.
catch them.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
he's not.
He's not even on the same. He's not even
No,
same
he's
stratosphere with that kid. Period.
No, he's not.
He's
I
not.
agree with that.
So I don't think they're worried about him, because that kid from Ohio State was a monster.
Oh, he's a true
He was a
athlete.
monster. So
Is Clemson banged up a little bit?
it could be, because that game
were-
was physical. That
Yeah.
was a very physical game.
And LSU had
A cakewalk. That's that coaching in you. You know what I mean? But I'm just telling you, in my opinion, they're gonna line up and they're gonna play man, and this kid, Burrows, is gonna have to make some throws. And let's see if he can make all the throws.
So you saying the same thing for Clemson?
Am I saying the same thing as far as, well, he showed you that, because what I'm gonna tell you what Ohio State didn't do. And as a coach, no, they didn't account for him, because they never thought that this young man would beat him with his legs.
Everybody does that.
No, they didn't account for him, and he showed you I could beat you with my legs as well.
Yeah, but I think that everybody knew that. That's the last gamble for you. It's like, I'm gonna cover these 4-2 guys. I'm gonna cover this tight end. I'm gonna cover this running back, and I'm gonna leave it up to a quarterback. That's the last
But
one.
they said to a man, that kid can't beat me.
Well, that's what you do. You want to give up the? Do you want to give up the flat with the running back? Do you want to give up the tight end? Do you want to give up the receiver?
sorry.
Would you rather leave it up to him or leave it up to
sorry.
other guys?
This kid ran a 67-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
No. What I'm saying is.
So wait a minute.
That's fourth on your coverage as
He
a
was
defender.
running all game though.
He was running all game.
He was
Design.
leading rushing.
He was designed right. He was designed right.
Yes, because Ohio State made the mistake that said we're not going to account for this guy, and they
Nah.
never adjusted.
Nah, but
Never.
here's the thing though. Like when you going into a defensive game, you're like, this running back, I need to worry about him, right?
Mm-hmm.
These receivers, I need to worry about them. This tight end, I need to worry about them. So the quarterback's like fourth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means when I see the quarterback running, that means everybody else is covered.
So you're
That
saying
means the quarterback
so-
has a natural ability to do what he does.
So you're saying that we can't cover everybody? Is what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that he made plays that
uncountable.
nobody was.
He wasn't accounted for.
Right.
Good.
This is it.
He made plays that
So-
nobody thought that he could make.
So let me throw this out there, Chief. We had the conversation before we got
Right.
on the mic, right? LSU's measuring rod is Alabama. They beat them by 3 points. Clemson smoked
In
Alabama.
When they do that,
I'm sorry, you didn't see the national championship game?
That was
last
last year.
Last
That was
year.
last year.
Last
That
year.
was last year.
All these kids are back.
There's last, not all of them.
Most of them are back.
all right, so where was LSU last year?
Home watching. Believe
So
me.
why are
playing
they in the
Orange.
position they in?
Because they
So they the same team?
they got a quarterback that transferred, and we gonna see.
That's it.
That's
That's
it.
all they got.
I don't. Who else did they get? All the other
So that
kids were
means
there.
he's
They
great.
changed their
So that
offense.
means one player made him great. So he's great. Thanks.
LSU has something they haven't had in years.
A quarterback. QB.
Oh, yeah, one player. one player.
But you said he's not good enough just because he transferred.
No. What I'm
it.
saying to you is this: one player, right,
Yeah.
who couldn't get on the field at Ohio
Right.
State, who had to transfer
Right.
to probably a lesser school,
Yeah. Right.
to play.
But whose fault is that?
Well, now it's not something that's a school. Sometimes where's the opportunity
Right.
open at? When you
So
need a
is that his
quarterback?
fault?
When you're a great player, you make your opportunity.
Yeah, but now
Great players
sometimes
make your opportunity.
All right, so
Yeah,
would you find any other quarterback? First of all, who's the best quarterbacks for you in the country?
And right
Yeah,
now
that you've seen.
that I've seen,
Yeah,
this
these
kid,
two.
these. I haven't watched it. I've watched a few LSU games this year. I've watched a lot.
so, okay.
I've definitely watched.
So
the
guess who
Alabama
the best
game.
two quarterbacks are in the whole
Oh,
country?
these two are.
So that's
these
it.
are.
So,
What
it doesn't matter where you came from, where you left. It doesn't. These are the best two.
Just saying the
talent.
desire, the intestinal fortitude.
Stop!
the
Stop!
will,
Stop! Stop!
the will,
Stop!
the
Stop!
will.
Stop!
I'm not-
Stop!
listen,
You
man.
watching football every play?
Hey,
Come on.
Listen.
You watching it?
I know me. I'm not transferring. I'm gonna beat you out.
Stop. We talking about
Sometimes
this
you
moment.
can't.
We talking about tomorrow. That's all we talking about.
Tomorrow.
And you
Sometimes
see
you
these
gotta
are
go
the
to a
best two
better
coaches.
situation. Like sometimes you just gotta go to a better.
Well, he had that
situation.
choice when he was in Ohio.
He went to,
And-
he's
and
an
he said-
Ohio
Is,
kid.
is
so
he
went
better
to
than
Ohio
all
State.
these quarterbacks and no matter where they are? Is he better than all the Ohio State quarterbacks?
Is he better than Fields?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Fields is a transfer. Fields transferred from Georgia.
Yeah, because he couldn't get no time.
Brown was there.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah. couldn't
Yeah,
get no
so
time.
sometimes you just gotta go to
Yeah,
an
you just
I
gotta
mean,
go
opportunity.
to-
I just think it's going to be interesting. LSU is the they're not. Well, I don't know if they're the favorite, but they're the fan favorite. Everybody wants them to win, especially because of the situation with the.
I don't
rain
even
and
care who the
everything.
favorite is. I know, but after we finish playing this game tomorrow, or Monday, we gonna know a lot about a whole lot. That's all I know.
I mean, LSU definitely has the attitude. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know what the
I think you gotta give it
You
to
know
him.
what Coach O said. Coach Ogeron. So the day I can't whip a man's behind is the day I don't get up out of bed.
I'm riding with that. I'm riding with that.
Listen, this is the
Hey, listen. When you said that we playing for the whole state,
Yeah. That's gonna be interesting.
Well,
I
Maybe
mean,
pressure
you know.
on them. They play
I mean,
for the whole state.
I
of
like
Louisiana.
I like LSU for the win, but there's only one X factor.
What's the X factor?
Oh, Sunshine can play some ball.
Yeah, he
Now,
definitely
listen. Like you just said, they took everything. That fourth option is what won that game last night.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. You had to
So
check
that-
all them, and then he,
yeah,
yeah.
so that-
Listen, I'm not taking nothing away from Clemson because they the real deal. You
are
can't.
the
They
real
the
deal.
real deal.
Hard to win
Yeah,
28.
yeah. Listen,
be 29.
Hard.
29, bro.
so These are the two best teams in the country, and they got the two best quarterbacks.
Let me ask you a question, and it's obviously a hypothetical question, because the number one team in the country, in my opinion, was Clemson. It's always been the number one.
You hate
team.
the SEC, but go
I
ahead.
don't hate
You're not very biased.
Yes.
Very biased.
Very biased.
I mean, I call it as I see it. I mean, they won the national championship last year.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't lose a game this year. Somehow they ended up number.
To be the champ, you got to beat the champ.
They beat the champ. The champ
I'm
was
talking-
out. They
talking about
beat
Clemson.
the
I
champ.
agree.
So
Clemson should have been number
let
one.
me ask you a question, just hypothetically. If LSU lines up against Ohio State, who wins that game?
LSU.
Do we know?
I mean, just
Do
I
we
mean,
really?
just your thought.
I'll go with LSU.
You think they would just come in and just blow?
I don't
I
think they
saw
blow
what Clemson did, and I saw what Penn State did, and I saw Penn State going to Ohio State and was like, we almost got them.
It almost counts in horseshoes and darts.
Yeah, but I'm
My
watching this
opinion.
team right here, and I'm like,
Who
I'm seeing
barely
who's
beat
almost,
Alabama?
and then I saw 65 points, and then I saw you blow a team out that we equally agree that's a top 4 team in the country.
Oklahoma.
D-
I'm about to drop the mic. I'm
So-
walking out.
No, so
The Big 12.
I'm looking.
Who hasn't won a
So
college
who would you to
football
put? Who would you to
playoff
put in
game
front of them?
ever?
Yeah, who would you to put in front of them
Listen,
to
can't
play in the
ask.
game?
It wasn't a contest. It was like
it wasn't a contest.
But who would you to put in front of them to play in the game?
I mean, the fact that Alabama lost to Auburn
a
solidified. It is a rival, but it solidified the fact that they wouldn't be the number 4 team.
They lost. They lost their quarterback in that game. He was hurt.
They was hurt, but I'm just saying they lost.
Who would you to put in that
I
in
mean-
the 4th spot? Because we equally agree that all right, they earned it. Let's put them in.
Who earned it?
Oklahoma.
I don't know if they earned it. I mean, they beat Baylor twice.
So who would you to put in that 4th spot?
You gonna go out to the Pac-12?
You mean
Or
that-
what? Or better yet,
You gonna put
where,
Oregon in
what
there.
conference
Oregon.
are you going in? To put 'em in?
Yeah, you're in trouble. But
So
I mean,
can we-
Georgia beats Oklahoma. Georgia beats them.
So who are
That's
you
the
putting
SEC.
in?
It is a SEC.
So back again, we agree the SEC.
Georgia beat. But
So
I'm-
SEC got some ball players.
they do have some ball players, but they got in. It's like by
I like
default.
the Big Ten. The Big Ten was.
I like the
But the
Big
Big
Ten
Ten ain't getting
ball.
in 2 teams.
They're not top to bottom.
Yeah,
So
they're not
who
getting
are
in.
you to put in that 4th spot for these teams? This is what I'm
Hey
saying.
man, flip a coin. You could have put.
Nah.
any.
So you did give me something. Give me something.
I mean, what happened was, in all reality, teams started losing.
Who would you to put in that 4th
You got to
spot?
put Oklahoma in there. Oklahoma.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you had to put Oklahoma in there
There we
because they
go.
beat Baylor.
There
But if
we
that's
go.
the case,
So who would you to put in
I would
there?
have put
Give
the
me another.
I would have put the Pac. Well, you couldn't put the Pac-12 champion in there because
They got
Utah
smoked.
was the best team out there and they lost.
All right, so would you to put Utah in that game?
You
And
couldn't
would've-
have because they
you would've
lost.
No.
Utah
I
had
said the
some
best
Oregon.
team.
So
I said the best team.
Utah
So who
got
would you?
trash.
Who
They got
would you
jet.
to put in that 4th spot? Forget about losing and who would you to put in there?
I would have had. You would have had, in my opinion. See, I'm all about the conference champion.
So who would you to put in there?
Oregon.
Oregon got they'd have walked.
They'd have walked over Oregon too, but
All right, so that's it. So we can agree that the 2 best teams are playing.
Two best teams.
the
are
2
playing.
best teams are playing.
There
but
we go. So that's
all
it.
I'm saying to you is this: had they had Drew, Ohio State, right, and that physical, they probably beat Ohio State. I give you that. They
So
probably
that's-
would beat.
so
them.
we can't
But
even
I would
discuss it.
I would tell you this: as physical as Ohio State was,
I can agree with that. They are physical.
you know what I mean? They'd been a little shell shocked.
See, we going
Nah,
off
nah,
of
nah.
wishing, and
I'm not wishing.
They
I-
would
I
have
think-
did
I
this,
did-
and they would
I
have
thought
did
they-
that.
Clemson.
I think Clemson was a little shell shocked because they play in the ACC that gets the physicality. But I don't think an SEC team is going to be shell shocked by
Nah,
physicality.
I
You
don't
mean
think it
all
is.
I-
I don't
all
think
I-
so
you
either.
mean
I
the
don't think so
SEC
either.
team that all I
Listen,
have to
what,
worry
what,
about
what
is
other team is
Alabama.
more physical than Alabama?
Who, Auburn?
They are physical football teams.
And
Auburn's physical. Alabama's physical. Look at the defensive lines.
Well, and then see what happens to the Pac.
Look at the offensive
Well,
lines.
see what happens with the Pac-12. I mean, the Big 12 is you have to play because everybody's out there playing, spread ball, fast and speed.
Right, there's no
Your
defense.
defense has to be able to stop that. So now your strong safeties are linebackers. So so now your outside linebackers in college are defensive ends. So, but when you do that to win that conference, now you go up against the SEC, who trying to play like Alabama's trying to play like the NFC East from 1985, where like 4 guys are going to be on offensive line somewhere.
Oh,
on
yeah,
Sundays.
automatic.
Big tight end, Derrick Henry's running in the
Yeah,
backfield.
so we talk about
like,
physicality.
yeah.
It doesn't get on any more physical in Alabama.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see.
Very
definitely
interesting.
how it pans out.
This is it. This is it.
Monday night, you free to come down to the ranch.
This
We'll
is
be
it.
down
Oh, the
there.
ranch is popping?
The ranch is popping. Monday night championship game. We'll definitely be down. We'll come down to the Lit Lounge down here.
The money.
Uh-oh. The lit.
Definitely. Come down to the Lit Lounge.
So we got
and
Artie
hang out.
popping up or what?
Where
Artie
Artie at? Where's my
Artie
man
at?
Artie?
Where's Artie? We got
Artie,
him. Here you go,
come on
Artie.
the mic, man.
Here we go, Artie. Get on the mic.
What do you want?
Lit
Get on
Lounge.
the mic right
We need
here.
information from you.
Hello, gentlemen.
How you doing, Artie?
I'm
Artie,
doing
what's
great.
up,
Listen,
brother?
thank you so much for coming back here.
Oh, definitely great
We love
time.
you guys. You're
always.
so knowledgeable about it. It's just I sit there in awe and just listen to it. It's like a different level.
Grace, Artie, I'm gonna need an Artie burger a little bit later.
No problem.
No problem, definitely. Well, tell us a little bit about the Lit Lounge and go in the cigars and give us a little cigar one-on-one and tell us, but more importantly, tell us about this beautiful facility you got here. I am a member. I came down here the first
That's
time
right.
and joined. Great cigar selection. All the games are on, pool table. Artie's the master chef too. He cooks it up for you, the world famous Artie burgers. So Artie, just tell us a little bit about the Lit Lounge so everybody know about.
Sure. Well, obviously the heart of the business is we sell fine cigars.
Beautiful cigars.
Yeah, they're just. And
Ralph's over there enjoying another one.
Yeah, for sure.
House blend.
Nice house blend. Very nice house blend.
Yeah, we have all the major brands. I brought in a bunch of different boutique cigars, things that are hard to find in general, that people really like. The lounge is comfortable, and
Very
beautiful.
comfortable.
And on Sundays, when all the regular games were on, every TV had a game on.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
we had a fantasy football running.
Okay.
I got my ass kicked.
We don't get censored over here.
And I don't even understand why. I had Watson, and then he just fizzed out. I had McCaffrey. He did well all the way. And then the rest of the guys just, I don't know. They just decided, well, if we keep playing well, Artie's going to win.
Definitely.
How bad, by the way, does the Patriots miss Gronkowski?
Oh, huge.
I think,
yeah.
I
That's
think
a difference maker.
Yeah, at the end of the regular season, he was always there. And
Yeah.
You gotta have playmakers to win in this league.
I say
Got to.
Gronkowski is a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Fame tight end, and I think out of any position in football, he's clearly the number one tight end.
there's no doubt.
In the football
And
history. He has the widest, between the guy that's number two, it's kind of a big jump. And I know football's different now. They don't play the way they used to play when Kellen Winslow played. But Gronkowski was like, we called him a cheat code.
Yeah.
Like, you just throw it up the ground. What down is it? Down a distance. Throw out to him.
Yeah.
He, tremendous
loss.
player.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's what I
unbelievable.
said about the kid in San Fran. He's playing good ball, Kitchen.
Yeah, Kitchen is
He's playing
nice.
good ball, so it's
Yeah, he's a beast too. Like, definitely. Get him the ball, get him the route. So, Artie, what's your favorite type of cigar?
I like the bold Maduros, the really strong ones. I guess I've like aged into it. It's the lighter ones really don't do it for me anymore. But
Okay.
we have plenty of people that still smoke mild to medium. I'm like all the way up at bold at this point.
Oh, definitely. And you have a lot of cigar events down here where you have
Every Thursday we have an event. We just had one from Drew Estate,
okay,
which was on Thursday night.
Okay,
It was
okay.
crazy in here.
wow.
In here. It's just nice to see. You know, a cigar is a bridge between people. It's like you can have a very, very poor guy and a very, very, very rich guy.
Yeah.
And when they're in here, you wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah.
And that's the greatest part about it. You talk, you converse. That cigar is a link between everybody. And
Yeah, I always said you can get like 50 guys together smoking a cigar with no problem.
Right.
You have like 7 guys smoking a cigarette, a fight could break out.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Cigars,
Different
you-
mentality.
Yeah,
You say you had an event with Drew Estates. One of my favorite cigars is a curator from them, Steve Saka.
Yeah.
The Muka de Sakas. He
Right.
came from Druid Estates.
Yeah.
And you know that's a very. I've actually had the unicorn last year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
They've got
special.
so you don't realize it sometimes is as you're ordering it and put it in stock, and you see all these different kinds of cigars that Drew Estate is affiliated with or makes, and I had 3 tables of cigars out there. Normally it's about one big table, and I had to put 2 auxiliary tables out there just to have their whole line.
Wow.
It was really amazing, and they make some great cigars. So, but a lot of the other companies too, we have some fantastic cigars. AJ Fernandez, DBL, as you know, which is a boutique cigar, but excellent cigar. you name it, Rocky Patel, Perdermo, all the big brands. We have everything. And we have house blends.
Right.
And my house blends are the best. They just, I mean, I'm talking, of course, you know.
A little biased,
they
but
really-
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
oh no, nothing wrong with
but,
that.
you know, I haven't had anybody ever complain about a house blend. So,
I know. Ralph thoroughly enjoyed his house blend. Like, definitely.
I got a
He
second one.
got a second one. Definitely.
there you go.
Definitely.
There you go.
So, for somebody who's getting new into cigars already, just starting out, what would you recommend them to try?
Something mild that burns well, that's constructed right, that's got a lot of flavor to get you into it where it won't get you sick. Like I would never recommend something bold to somebody that's never smoked a cigar before, because we want it to be a nice, enjoyable situation. The cigar journey should be from light and mild to medium, and all of this should take some time, and then finally into the bold. You know? But all of it should take some time.
Yeah, I think I'm in the medium side of the journey now. I started off, I then slowly but surely moved up to like the medium side.
By the way, I want to say it again. I love you guys.
Yo,
You
definitely.
can make this your home.
Oh, no, definitely. I'll talk with the guys. We can come out.
You can do this every week.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we got a Ravens fan here. Oh my God. This is Andy, one of our closest members.
Oh, Andy, how you doing?
And
All right.
Andy, sit down. Let's talk about the Ravens. They playing today. What's your key to victory?
his key to victory is Lamar Jackson.
Very much so. Very
Simple
much
and plain,
so.
right?
There goes
Certainly
Lamar.
Lamar. I'm worried about the running back position.
Ingram? But he's had,
Yeah,
he
I
had a
don't
few
think
weeks
he did.
off.
Yeah.
But he still had a few weeks off. So rest means a lot. You know.
I'm afraid. I tell you what, I'm afraid of quarterbacks that run a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at.
The same conversation we had earlier.
I mean, just look at Wentz. I mean, it's okay to run. How
you might
often?
get hit.
How often does Brady run?
He
Never.
doesn't.
Okay, and how long has he been?
20 years.
20 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
now
The reason why you don't run.
that's why you.
No.
The
Sooner
reason
or
why you
later, it's
don't
not a
run.
question of
It just-
if.
it's
It's a
just
question
when.
of when.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So Artie, in saying that though, that was a knock on Lamar. Lamar from last year to this year, he has stayed in the pocket. All right, and he's had a better passing year.
Yeah.
And, you know, so with that coupled with made him successful last year, his feet and got him the Heisman. It's just a better. He's maturing.
Yeah,
he
but
knows when to stay in.
I
He
agree.
knows when to take off.
Yeah.
So that's scary.
Well,
I
he's
mean,
he's
They got
going to
some
break
design runs,
all
too.
the records. I think he's going to break all the records. But the thing is, sooner or later, he's going to get a late hit like what just happened with the Eagles.
I don't know if that was a late hit.
That
The
was
whistle
a late-
wasn't blown.
that
That was a lick.
Yeah, he was
That guy was on the ground.
He was on the way down. He got escorted to the ground. He got escorted to the ground. Hey, listen, I played football in the 80s, not at a high level, high school only, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to escort you to the ground. I'm going to escort you out of bounds.
That's the game.
Listen, you have an
That's the
option.
game.
You have an option to step out. If you don't step out, I'm going to put you out.
Right.
And you're not going to like how I put you out.
Right.
He dove forward. The guy made a decision, hey, I'm going to hit him. He didn't have to. He was going to ground.
Yep.
But he hit him
It was
anyway.
late. Yeah, it was late. I mean, that's.
It was late. I mean, late,
I don't-
unnecessary
it was-
roughness,
it
hitting
was-
the defenseless
it
player,
was- he
targeting.
took-
I mean, whatever
he
you want
took
to
an
call it.
opportunity to hit the quarterback, which is everybody's taught. If the quarterback's out there, put a lick on him.
Right.
That's what he did.
And that's my problem with running. At some point in time, someone is going
Gonna
to
catch
catch
you.
up with him.
Right. That's
and when
what-
they
exactly,
catch up with
that's
him,
exactly what I'm saying.
you're going to sit back and be like, gee, I just wish he would have threw the ball.
That's exactly.
And that's
what
all
I'm
they're
saying
saying about Wentz. It's always hindsight is 2020. He should have threw the ball. He didn't.
Yeah.
He ran for 2 stinking meaningless yards and got knocked out the game. That's what happened.
A very important game for them.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
The game.
Listen, he had, in my opinion, I'm an Eagles fan. He hasn't played in the playoff game yet
Yep.
because he's injured.
Yep. I hear you. I mean,
Throw the
it's
ball away.
It's sad, but
Live to play another down. Throw the
yep,
ball away.
Yep. Throw the ball.
That's going to be the key. I think Baltimore. I'm just interested to see how this game plans out. I think it's going to be 8:00 in Charm City. It's going to be a sensational. 60
rain,
degrees. It's
no
warm. No rain, man. You couldn't ask for better weather. It's almost like 65 degrees in January. Man, it's going to be.
With
It's
a
going to be a
rested-
nice day
today
to
was
throw the
made for
ball, too.
football.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is definitely a
with
football
a
day.
very rested defense who has been balling.
yeah.
Who has been
It's
balling.
not even balling. All they got to do is stop the run. Tannehill's not throwing a ball.
Hey, it's not their fault.
It's not their fault. I mean, this is come on, man.
Well,
This is-
Tannehill works well off play action, and the interesting thing about Belichick's decision last week was to play two safeties high to stop the big plays because he felt, I guess at one point he felt like we could slow this run down, but they could not stop the run, and they refused to take that shot. I mean, Belichick said, "Look, we should be able to stop this guy one time, and they be able to throw it deep when we're ready for him." But they said, "Nah, we're gonna stay true to who we are, and we're gonna run this ball down your throat." I think it'll be interesting to see how Baltimore plays them. I think if they go single safety, if they believe in their corners, so it'll be interesting to do.
I think they dropped the safety down in the box and forced this guy, Tannehill, to beat him. It's just that simple.
And that's who you.
I have to go back and look at the
did.
tape. I mean, listen, man. If Tannehill beats me with his arm, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
very
Yeah,
much
definitely.
so.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
very much so.
I just don't believe he can do it.
And that's the
That's
decision I
all.
would make.
Come on.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean?
I got 8 in the box. That
Right.
I'm very confident.
Right. Oh, we're gonna tackle this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't do nothing else. We're gonna tackle him.
Exactly.
So
Definitely.
you prove to me that you can beat me with your arm.
And the only thing you're weighing it on is play action.
But wait a minute. You can't do any play action if you can't run the
Oh,
ball.
yeah.
Can't run
You
the
can fake
rock.
all you want to, but if we're tackling a guy and he's getting 1 and 2 yards, play action is rendered null and void.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Because everybody's dropping back. So again, like I said, one trick pony.
Good trick though. So
Hell of a
Artie, you're
trick.
gonna be live all the games tonight, right?
Oh
right,
yeah, for sure.
right down at the Lit
We're
Lounge.
we're ready to rock and roll in here.
Ready to rock and roll. Man. But Artie, I just want to thank you for having Sports Talk Live. For
Listen,
the culture down.
honestly, for real, anytime
Oh,
you can, like I said, you can make this your home.
Cool, definitely.
All right.
I'll talk with the guys. This is
Yeah.
just a short drip over the.
Yeah,
over
it's
close right there.
Closer than I thought.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean,
at the Lit
I
Lounge.
love having you here. I love listening to you guys, and
Definitely.
it's fantastic.
All right. Well, you guys come on down to Lit Lounge. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna get me an Artie burger, get me some wings, get me a nice house blend. Sit back and see what these San Francisco 49ers can do.
We'll
out
take
here.
good care of you.
Oh, definitely. All right. Thanks. Definitely. Definitely. Well, guys, I want to thank you guys for coming out. Definitely supporting the show. Mr. Crow. What happened to Walt? Walt was supposed to be here.
Well, he had to play uncle today. He had to go see his niece
Okay.
for a basketball game.
Oh wow, that's big.
That's cool.
That's definitely. What school she play for?
Not, AAU.
AAU. Oh wow. All year round now.
Oh, always. Oh, yeah. Actually, when we left the back gym at the park today, Darby Township Eagles and some of the high school kids, they were in there doing speed drills.
Oh
In
wow.
the back gym.
Wow.
Everything's all year round.
Trying to get you to be a
24/7.
Delco Monarch.
Listen, once again, since this guy over this gentleman I went to high school with,
Played football with.
played football with, he has weight limit problems.
No.
I don't have weight limit problems.
No. That day's over. Everything's unlimited now.
Oh, okay. He's making a move.
Man, they talk to State. We're gonna get some
I know
scrimmages going
Stacy's
on.
number. Never
Yeah,
called
yeah,
me.
we
Never
got some
called for a
scrimmages.
game. There's a reason why. But
Yeah.
we won't go into that. There's a reason why.
right.
We're only around the corner.
Sports Talk Live for the culture. Peace. We check y'all next week. Thanks for joining us. Live from the Lit Lounge. Come out, have a good cigar. Lit Lounge. Look them up on Facebook. Come see my man Artie. We out.